Yo, our horizontal planes are parallel to the plane of the horizon. So parallel with each other, it's neither strange nor surprising. A water level gives a horizontal plane of reference. So try thinking with your brain, keep it sane as your preference. Revel at simple geometry and at a horizontal line being level. Don't be that rebel, turning it into a circle like a devil. A triangle only has 3 sides with 180 degrees. Just keep things easy, using logic mixed with advanced simplicity. Judge not but learn inner peace with FFA. Step away, releasing your beliefs is a better way. Mastering thoughts, let your mind cast but in focus. For progress, try thinking and pass on this process. Our horizontal planes are parallel to the plane of the horizon. So parallel with each other, now use your brain to enlighten. A water level gives a horizontal plane of reference. So try thinking to maintain, keeping it sane as a preference. Revel at simple geometry and at a horizontal line being level. Don't be that rebel, turning it into a great circle like a devil. A triangle only has 3 sides with 180 degrees. Keep things easy, mixing logic with advanced simplicity. Judge not but feel inner peace with FFA. Step away, releasing all beliefs, it's a better way. Suspending all thoughts so you're not caught in the trap. Trapped, believing all reports. So who taught you that? The system I despise. Please open your eyes and wise up. Not hypnotized by these lies, voting for a prize. Just wise up. There are laws in nature and axioms of proof. So no excuse not to explore, but feel relaxed with the truth. Revel at simple geometry and at a horizontal line being level. Don't be that rebel, turning it into a great circle like a devil. A triangle only has 3 sides with 180 degrees. Keep things easy, mixing logic with advanced simplicity. Judge not but feel inner peace with FFA. Step away, releasing all beliefs, it's a better way. Suspending all thoughts so you're not caught in a trap. Trapped, believing all reports. So who taught you that? If the magic lies, please open the eyes. A wise eye, not hypnotized by these lies, voting for a prize. Just wise up. There are laws in nature and axioms of proof. So no excuse not to explore, but feel relaxed with the truth.
The shadows dance on the cave's old stone. A journey back where we're all alone. Wisdom comes from the dark unknown. Paint no pictures, just let truth be shown. Through the echoes, thoughts will flow. Symbols shatter where we dare to go. Truth ain't wrapped in a silver bow. Seek the depths, enjoy the show. Don't fear the cave, it calls you near. In shadows the answers start to clear. To unlearn, it's a path we must steer. In the silence, our minds reappear. Wise man knows what he can't see. What's hidden lives in the mystery. In the dark, there's a clarity. Lost in shadows lies epohe. Blank pages we hold as we descend. Through the layers we slowly transcend. Understand, not to comprehend. In the journey, the mind will mend. Don't fear the cave, it calls you near. In shadows the answers start to clear. To unlearn, it's a path we must steer. In the silence, our minds reappear. Don't fear the cave, it calls you near. In shadows the answers start to clear. To unlearn, it's a path we must steer. In the silence, our minds reappear.
Sensible shoes on the level, honest and true, mind your P's and Q's.
And I hope everything's working. We are live. Bit of a new intro idea there. Hope it worked. Welcome. I don't know who's here. I don't think the number counter's working or anything, or there's nobody actually watching. As always, this is a free-for-all Friday, so the Discord, the link's there, that's where we are. It is open to anybody. If you want to come on in, just come on into the Discord, join the server, pop a link in the live chat, let people know you can come and join us. We will be going over some videos and stuff. We've got some stuff to go over. It's been an interesting time, I think, over the years that we've been here doing this, on this journey or whatever. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few people that have been on the journey with us. Sometimes it's pretty challenging, but really this journey here in the Discord, it's just about conversing with people, and it gets really weird. But I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still entertained by it. I'm still interested in the conversation, no matter who the conversation's with. I mean, we've had conversations with all sorts of people. I think the other people are the ones that shut down the conversation. It's they choose to end the conversation for some reason or whatever. I don't know. It's as though people can't converse. We seem to do quite well in here, but it's putting it out to let other people know that there are people and places that you can go to have a proper conversation. Depends what you call a proper conversation, though. That's the interesting part.
Yep.
I've tried going out into different places to, have those conversations, and I don't think they happen anywhere else. Other than on the level Discord. So if you want a real conversation, come here. And if I think it's our job to, well, I mean, if you know what the Discord's like, then be my guest. Come on in and join the conversation. But what we talk about here of a night time and all of that, this isn't really how the Discord server is. Usually there are loads more people who don't want to actually be here on the live, so it's a bit of a toss-up, like, do you keep the conversation and or do you go live to let other people know that where the conversation is? I think that's the only way for you to tell is to come on into Discord. I don't know. I think people have given Discord a bad name. You know, there are people out there that you see in the thing that do advertise Discord, and I mean, it is a bit of a shit show, to be honest.
Can be, anyway.
Yeah, in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be entertaining once in a while, but I don't know whether you could live in it all the time. This is more of a, we call this like a pub. And we like to keep our clientele, you know. But obviously, occasionally, some people do stray in. And
you do need to be authentic, though. If you're gonna, that's a fair warning to anybody. Just be authentic. Come on in, have a real conversation. And we don't know everything. Nobody really knows everything, but it'd be interested in what you do think.
Yeah, come and join the conversation.
Yeah.
How many people are actually watching? Is it because we're a bit early, or
not many?
Whatever. It's maybe not Fridays because it's Fridays. Yeah, this is going to be a bit difficult for most people, I think. And I mean,
it's a bit of an odd.
God.
It's a bit of an odd situation when we've sort of, you know, in the day we've had some discussion about something or listened to something or say, oh, did you hear that thing on that stream last night or whatever, and then we go and find the recording and then we'll listen to it and we'll have some really deep conversations about it. And then if that is the subject of the live, it can be quite difficult to replay that in the moment reaction that we had 5-6 hours ago, and trying to, you know, come up with, you know, be fresh about it, you know, and have original thought because they happened some hours ago. And I think that kind of thing gets missed and lost sometimes in the lives if you know, if we've already gone over it. And you know, so I think people out there in, you know, in the audience land, they also don't get the full kind of heart of it, the heart of the story, the heart of what's going on as things occur to each of us as we talk about them. And some truly incredible moments. For me, it has been, you know, I'm sure for others it's been incredible too. Some days you know, it's just like being born again, you know, just the growth that you feel in some things it can be really incredible. So I know for myself it can be difficult to, you know, replay those moments if we're going to talk about something we've already talked about. So, you know, and there's no production. It's not like, oh, we've rehearsed anything to present something in that way. It's pretty organic. Yeah, there are some incredible moments. And you come in this Discord, you know, you might be find yourself part of those moments that are hilarious and touching, funny, very deep, all that stuff.
Yeah, so we do actually have a couple of videos I want to go over. Not too sure how far we'll get with them because the other one's a little bit deep. It is a bit of a mind boggler, but we've got one last night. Now, I guess, right, being in this arena and being in the position that we are, you know, being able to see the false dichotomy gives you a different view on these things. And as we've been saying for a bit, there's an element of nonsense. And the globe is completely made up of nonsense. But flat Earth has sort of fallen into a compliance, nonsense compliance. And I think like one of the moments in this whole thing is that Will Duffy has handed flat earthers something, an impossibility, I'm going to say it. It's an impossibility for them to work out how to do something. As you know, a dead easy, simple challenge that anybody can have. And then he's handed them this, and flat earth has collapsed. The flatzoid in particular and Nathan Oakley have sort of separated themselves from this other group of flat earthers, the American group. But now they're so fragmented that they're in disarray. They don't know what's occurred or what's happened. And last night, an amazing moment where Dave Weiss appeared on Flatside's channel. Now, I don't know, I haven't got any of the clips or anything, but I'm pretty sure that Flatside has slagged Dave Weiss off just as much as he has Jaren and Whitsit. Right, he's had a go at all of them, as has Nathan Oakley. I mean, they've stuck up for each other to try and separate themselves from this other group of flat earthers. But last night, Dave Weiss appears on a panel with Flatside. And the hilarity that ensues once you can sit outside of it and you can see all of this sort of stuff. And we've been watching this for ages. So it's about time we sort of handed that out to everybody else and, you know, hopefully let everybody else see this type of, well, I mean, I don't know whether you can call this flat earth or not. I don't know what you can call it. Right, so, perhaps I don't need to do that on the streaming thing. Take that off. Okay. Right, so this is Flatside's show last night, and he was going over a video that Will Duffy's used, but it came from Dave Weiss. So Dave Weiss appears because obviously he knows that there's a video of his to be played in this Flatside thing. So is that I can't make it any bigger. All right, I'll just play it anyway. So Dave Weiss comes in, I think. Let us know if you can hear this.
In damage control, making these videos, and I haven't watched.
You can hear that in Discord. How about you guys out in there? It says there's only 2 people watching. That's probably right. It says Friday. Okay. Does that sound good? Okay, so.
It yet, but I have a feeling he's not doing damage control. He's actually showing the optics and the camera, right?
Don't I have his email address? I don't have your email address, Dirth. Just quickly email me flatside@gmail.com, then I can send it to you.
Then you can get your IP. You can skim your IP address.
Over a minute. Where is this gigantic rocket hiding for such a long time?
So one of the proofs
that is correct. Behind the curve of the Earth. Flat Earth Dave is currently doing damage control on this one. And you will never guess what he says is hiding these SpaceX rockets.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question, guys. Where's the horizon here?
Perspective.
Wasn't you?
I want to ask you guys, where's the horizon here?
I see it. It's about 10, 20 miles out. Yeah, there you go.
Fart. Somebody. I mean, that wasn't from one of us in Discord, was it? No, that was actually on the video. I wish we go back and just get that.
One. And you will know a long time. That is correct. Behind the curve of the Earth. Flat Earth Dave is currently doing damage control on this one. And you will never guess what...
I think that was Ryan. It looks like it's... What's this one here? I think it's this Ryan. Yeah.
That is correct. Behind the curve of the Earth. Flat Earth Dave is currently doing damage control on this one. And you will never guess what he says.
Was Roger, why are Flatside's panel making fart noises. What's going on? This is, I mean, let's go. I mean, yeah.
Is hiding these SpaceX rockets.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question, guys. Who's going to rise in here?
Perspective.
He's going to ask a question. Anybody see anything weird on here? It's a video of his Earth video. Where's the curve wheel? And has anybody ever heard of this? A cloud horizon. Approximately 20,000 feet. Yeah. A mid-picture horizon. I mean, why can't a cloud have a horizon? The sun could have a horizon as well, couldn't it? Anything could have a horizon if you're going at that. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to ask you guys, where's the horizon here?
Where's the
I see it.
horizon here?
It's about 10, 20 miles out. Yeah, there you go.
Around about there, guys.
What?
Could be there or there. Why is he pointing?
There or there or there or there or yeah, like what? Yeah, where is it?
There.
Don't know.
Is that a horizon? He says.
Yeah, and yeah, Dave's coming in, and this is the video that Will Duffy is using as a proof of curvature of the globe, I think, right? So it's Jaren's made a video filming this. Dave has then made a video of Jaren's video filming the rocket launch, and then Will Duffy has taken that as a proof of curvature in his proof of curvature video that he's done, and now Flatsoid is reviewing that video that Will Duffy's made of Dave's video, right? So there's a lot of chain of content creators going, you know, on the back of each other to end up here. But that's like that's the big lettering, right? That's the main point of Dave's video, is to point out he's inventing a cloud horizon. Yeah.
Cloud horizon. Oh my word. A cloud's not an horizon.
Yeah. What's the cloud horizon?
Oh my. I think that might be Dave.
So you say, somebody says, wait a minute, the recording is unhearable on YouTube. Is that right? Can you guys not hear it? On YouTube, I can turn it up there. Yeah, you sure, right, miss you? I mean, all the levels look like they're working. They're all maxed out. Yeah. And the Discord. Yeah. Constance said, who's Bev responding to? Yeah, now it's working. Okay. All right. Right.
Dave's video, though, I think that's Dave pointing at that.
Yeah, but the point is that's not a horizon, though.
No, that's not the
horizon. The cloud is blocking. Dave's 100% correct. It's blocking everything. But we're also going to point out, look at how straight the sun's reflection is. That's not a curved surface.
And
did you know? It says it's got Discord sound coming through. I hope. Could hear you reacting to something. I have switched it off. It's nothing's playing at the minute other than that. So you two not going through. It says Discord sound.
In the Discord.
Right, I'll turn the desktop audio up. Right, so try that now. From now, please.
Okay, I'll just speak and see. So if anyone can hear me now, let me know.
Switch the desktop audio on. I hope it doesn't come through twice.
Yeah, now I'm coming through.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, then we probably, because I said a bunch of stuff that I think was helpful, so I may have to repeat it again.
Okay.
So
go on.
So, and you guys in the YouTube just heard it, right? That Dave is coming on here in a minute, and Flatzoid is reviewing a video of Will, but Will has up Dave's rebuttal to Jaren. So, and Flatzoid rightly, I think, points out that, well, what's a cloud horizon? And that's not a horizon, that's a cloud. Until someone says, well, that's Dave's. And then Flatzoid, yeah, he says, yeah, but that's not a horizon, and then backs off and goes to how the sun edges look straight on the water. So just keep that in mind for when Dave comes in, because you're going to see more of this, let's say, agreement with Dave Weiss. You'll see it in a minute.
Yeah.
If you notice,
I can cut paper on that horizon too.
If you notice where the waves are of that reflection, you can see where it's actually the water does curve because it's a wave. You see that the reflection bunches up. You know what I mean? So it shows that if it's level, it will the reflection will be elongated.
There we go, Dave.
Curve, it's going to be bunched up into a point.
If anybody didn't know, like what you do on the YouTube is if you go down, if you open this bit that says more here, right, and you go to show transcript, if it shows that, they're getting better at it. Obviously this is from last night. It opens up this thing here, and then once this is open, you go into your three little line things, and you open up the find, so you can then go and search for different clips within a YouTube stream. So it's easier to find certain moments within it. That's what this bit is on the right hand side here, for anybody wondering what it is. There we go. Dave's on his way in.
Look how high these clouds are and how far those clouds are, okay? Now, if something is further away and something is now occulting it, like the clouds, because it's in your blocking your view, it's going to block the view. There's no curve. So Dave is 100% correct here.
Cloud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Comes from behind the cloud.
Because you have that
view to us.
So let me just continue on that. So let's say that that atmospheric stack, and by the way, there's not clouds every day, but 40, 50, 60, 100 miles, the atmosphere becomes opaque. So let's say it's only 10,000 feet in the air, right? So if you do a line from your eyes to that horizon, your point of view, that line would be a level line over the water. But if you looked at it from the distance, it'd actually be a line sloping up, hitting that tangent at 10,000 feet. Now, let's say that was 50 miles away.
Right, I have to pause that because Dave's just said some stuff there, right, to Flatzoid. Let me see if I can move this YouTube chat over here for now, so you can see the transcript. Where were we? Come on.
Say they're 20 miles away, maybe. You know, if you push them to 40 or 50 miles away, they would literally become the horizon, right? They would just wedge into the horizon.
Yeah, I would understand that because it pushes further away because it converges. But at this point, it's not the horizon, though. But you're 100% correct with this argument, though, because the clouds are a cold.
So let me just continue on that. So let's say that that atmospheric stack, and by the way, there's not clouds every day, but 40, 50, 60, 100 miles, the atmosphere becomes opaque. So let's say it's only 10,000 feet in the air, right? So if you do a line from your eyes to that horizon.
Right, here we go. You have to follow this as closely as you can. And remember, this is Flat Earth Dave talking to a panel of flat earthers. Probably one of the only surviving panels where flat earthers can go and hang out together like this. I mean, there are Discord rooms or anything, but this is a live YouTube stream where Dave's obviously...
Kind of like a flat earth ordination with Dave coming over.
Yeah.
Kind of, bless the church.
Right, so if you drew a line from your eyes to that horizon, your point of view, that line would be level, be a level line. There we go, listen.
Opaque. So let's say it's only 10,000 feet in the air. Right? So if you do a line from your eyes to that horizon, your point of view, that line would be a level line over the water.
Right, so let's say it's only 10,000 feet in the air, right? So if you drew a line from your eyes to that horizon, your point of view, that line would be a level line over the water.
Anybody get that?
Is he saying that? What's he saying is 10,000 feet then?
I don't know. Possibly the
edge
cloud.
Of
The cloud
the
horizon.
edge of the cloud. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cloud horizon.
I think that's what we have to take for granted, right? That he's talking of this 10,000 foot horizon, right? But he's saying to people, if you drew a line from your eye to that horizon
at 10,000 feet,
at 10,000
feet,
that's
what I was wondering. Yeah,
yes.
I was just mixed with he talking about the horizon that's lower down, or shit.
Do you think that's a level line? Is that a level? Would that be a
level line over the water?
Yeah, it's a flat Earth level.
Right.
They're all sloped. We know it's sloped.
You've got a picture of what you're thinking of, right? Well, I don't know whatever you are thinking of, but flat earthers don't say anything. So let me go back. I'll put it again because it needs to go over a few times.
From your eyes to that horizon, your point of view, that line would be a level line over the water. But if you looked at it from the distance, it'd actually be a line sloping up, hitting that tangent at 10,000 feet.
But it would, if you looked at it from a distance, the eye line from your eye to this 10,000 foot one,
cloud horizon.
If you look at that line from your eye line from a distance,
how would one do that? How would one look at what was level line? You drew a line from your eye to a 10,000 foot cloud horizon, and that's level. So everybody got that? Your eye to 10,000 foot cloud horizon is level. But if you looked at it from a distance, how would you look at that from a distance?
From your eye line.
From your eye line to the 10,000 foot cloud horizon, but that would be sloped upward if you looked at it from a distance, though.
That tangent. What tangent?
What tangent? Yeah. What tangent?
Cloud horizon, to the cloud horizon.
Yeah. But does the cloud horizon have a tangent?
Well, if the cloud horizon is a circle,
they're just nonsense words, aren't they? I mean, let's face it.
Or is your eye level tangent, which it's
doesn't actually mean
the tongue, is it?
anything. And who's going to question him? Reckon somebody going to say, "What was that?"
Sure.
I mean, strange things happen over water, isn't it? When they get anywhere near water, lines and angles just go into strange lands.
I'm thinking more about what's going on in Dave's mind. He's actually saying this. Like, I don't know how he's formed this idea that if you're looking at a line, it would be level, although it rises 10,000 feet. But then if you look at that line from a distance, it would be sloping. Which, surely it was sloping to start off with, wasn't it?
Yeah. From your eye to 10,000 feet?
Yeah.
I would say so. That's
or
not
from your eye to the horizon, right? Like, either of them, it doesn't matter. It's always going to be sloping.
Yeah.
It's not level, that's for sure. But he did say it was level. There was no slip of the tongue there. It's a level line. Look at the words.
Yeah, here we go.
But he is painting a picture for people, and maybe people have glazed over and they're not really paying attention, and they're just, I don't know, it's a bit of entertainment in a sense. But when you're trying to make sense of these picture stories they're telling, it can be really crazy.
Well, the thing is, the challenge is, can you make sense of what Dave's saying? Does this make any sense at all?
Well, you can't make sense of it.
Even if you spend time to pick it up. No.
Even though we're going over it slowly now, right? It still doesn't make any sense. You can't make any sense of this. Yet, Dave's managed to go on to a panel of flat earthers. Say this. It's genius.
Yeah, they seem to be going, yep. In the background, lots of head nodding.
I'll just go over it again. This is, it goes for, if Dave is to say this again for something, right, to explain this, whatever it is that's going on.
From your eyes to that horizon, your point of view, that line would be a level line over the water. But if you looked at it from the distance, it'd actually be a line sloping up, hitting that tangent at 10,000 feet. Now, let's say that was 50 miles away. Now it's got to go another 130 miles on that upward slope.
What? If it was 50 miles
That's
away,
another element.
I don't know, the horizon, the cloud horizon. It's 130 miles?
No, add height to it because it's going. The slope is rising, and 130 miles out, or another 50 miles out, whatever is, the slope has risen. So, I mean, I'm used to him talking about Earth curve dropping away, and it's hidden behind the horizon, 33 miles or whatever. But this looks to be an opposite thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's revealing.
Forget the flat Earth revealing something. It was level.
That's the thing, right? How does it go from what he clearly said was level from your eye to this cloud horizon, and now it's 130 miles away, it's 10,000 feet up in a slope? How are those two things happening at the same time?
Is he telling the flat earthers this as well, right? I mean, he's gone on to that panel to tell the flat earthers that, they thought it was level, but in actual fact, I don't know. But I think it's nonsense.
He seems to be gathering proof. So I wonder if he's sort of running some things out and testing and see what it's like a focus group.
Yeah.
You go out on the street and you tell them some stuff and you see what the reaction is, and then you model your product around the reactions. It seems it could be like that. He's just out trying to test an idea and see if it has any legs or not. If the top flat Earth panel say yes, No problem. We'll just keep saying it.
I'm trying to look at the way he's saying it. Like it's saying, let's say it's only 10,000 feet in the air, right? So if you drew a line from your eyes to that horizon, your point of view, that line would be a level line over the water. So he's talking to the panel. He's got to be, right? I mean, he's just joined that panel. Just joined it. And he's talking about this video. He's not talking to the audience or anything. He's actually talking to the flat earthers when he's saying this.
So that rocket would have to break that upward slope at 180 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's...
Flatsoy's like, yeah. The rocket would have to break the upward slope of what? Cloud horizon? 130 feet, if miles or whatever. I don't know. I'll go over it again so you can get a chance to listen to it. Here we go.
From your eyes to that horizon, your point of view, that line would be a level line over the water. But if you looked at it from the distance, it'd actually be a line sloping up, hitting that tangent at 10,000 feet. Now, let's say that was 50 miles away. Now it's got to go another 130 miles on that upward slope. So that rocket would have to break that upward slope at 180 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's much higher than that cloud deck because you have that angle of view. And Jaron knows damn well this explanation.
Darren knows damn well this explanation of what explanation? The one that you think is a level line, but it's actually a slope?
Sloped upward to 10,000 feet.
So he's trying to explain how this rocket takes a while to come into view. That's what he's trying to explain, isn't it?
In this
that rocket
video,
in the
yes.
distance. Yep.
But he doesn't. It seems
All right,
like
that's
he
just
doesn't
giving me
want
a
Flatsoy
different
to play
perspective. Yeah, I didn't see all this live, so yeah.
He's trying to give an explanation of whatever it is, but Will Duffy's using it as a proof of curvature. So Dave's now had to come on to explain his use of it, of how it's not curvature, but ended up talking about a 10,000 foot tangent slope of something. I mean, I don't even know how the geometry of that would possibly work in his head. How he can put a tangent 10,000 foot up in the air. I don't know who he's got telling him about any of this sort of stuff, but to me, it just sounds like nonsense. And I've been saying this to flat earthers for quite a bit, and every time you do say, doesn't that sound like nonsense? They'll say, oh, semantics, Bev. You're always picking, you know what we mean. And I honestly haven't got a clue what they're talking about. It is nonsense. Most of the stuff in this arena is complete nonsense. And it takes a bit for people to try and get it, because once somebody gives you something that's obviously nonsense, your brain does not know how to deal with it. It doesn't have anywhere to place it, because it just doesn't make any sense. You're trying to make sense of everything. So when something that's so much nonsense that you can't even begin to work out how to comprehend it, your brain just forgets about it. It's like it's not even there. It didn't even go in. You probably won't even be able to repeat back what Dave has just said, because it's nonsense.
Which is exactly why Flatsoy just went, because there's no way. Like, we were listening to it this morning, and I had to have Bev go back over it like 4 or 5 times, honestly trying to give Dave the benefit of the doubt, trying to understand what he was saying, and I couldn't do it. There's no way Flatsoy got all of that and understood it and then goes, mm-hmm. His brain just glazed over. He's in aporia right now.
Yeah.
He has no freaking clue.
There's also that in that, is a slight emasculation in sense of Flatzoid, of giving away his power to Dave, and maybe in that cloud of, almost bowing to a deity in a sense, that he's abandoned his rational thinking in some way, because, royalty has arrived.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, anyway, let's carry it on because it does get better. But I mean, I think if you're opening with that, with Dave, right? Dave Weiss has come in and he's opened with such nonsense that Flatzoid and everyone can't comprehend it. They're not willing to ask him to what the fuck he's going on about to clarify it or anything. So he's just got away with that, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So something is making him speak differently.
Remember, he's now a Glober, so he's being retarded.
Like, just because you're a Glober, it doesn't make you retarded. And Flatzoid is only a flat earther, so please forgive him. He's just been put through the ringer with Dave Weiss.
If you took a telescopic infrared lens and took the same picture, you would get definitely see the rocket and its engine, wouldn't you? In this photograph, correct?
You can see the rocket in this photograph anyway. It's there. Roger. It is in the photograph, right? Yeah, I know.
He means when it was behind the clouds, you could have seen it.
With infrared. I'm not too aware of infrared being able to see through clouds.
Well, even if it did, I'm not sure what the sun behind it would do.
Yeah.
The sun's a pretty big thing that would show up on infrared.
Probably block out the rest of it. Yeah.
Everything, yeah. That's what I would think.
It would go cut to the opacity of it.
I don't know if it would or not. I mean, maybe you can see it. But somebody reported they were watching Space System launch the other day, and from, I think it was even a greater distance, they saw it immediately. Like it was a super clear day, super dry, super clear, and they saw it from a distance, where they saw it immediately. So, it's not damage control; it's just retard control.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave, I didn't know Dave was doing that. No, he was like that. And maybe he's just because he's fitting in with the Flatzoids and all of that, right? But I mean, there's no need to bring that R words out, is there?
It might be an indicator of, the effect, the fallout of Jaren and things like that, and this whole TFE thing, and maybe it's kind of, shifted his mind a bit. Sounds a bit more desperate than usual for Dave.
Maybe that's what pays for the, the flat earthers now, right? To go on the attack. Nathan Oakley seems to be getting paid quite well for doing it. He's, he's getting some good super chats, isn't he?
Yeah, it's had some good super chats, but, his numbers aren't going up particularly, so... But, I guess there would be a reflection in the algorithm that likes that kind of thing. So maybe there is some benefit.
Exactly. But did you hear his argument towards us? He's strawmanning and saying, you're saying there's always clouds that magically appear in front of the...
Has anybody heard that? Jaren's new argument against the flat earthers that says that there's always clouds that magically appear. I mean, it's not much of an argument, is it? I don't know who's helping Jaren with those arguments. I mean, Flatzoid says that one's a straw man, but I'd say talking shit about arguments that other people haven't made is a pretty bad straw man on the flat earth behalf anyway, but he's fitting in.
No. The atmosphere becomes opaque over distance.
What was that, Dave? Let's just hear that again.
You're saying there's always clouds that magically appear in front of the...
No. The atmosphere becomes opaque over distance. And everything gets pressed.
The air becomes opaque. Dave's got a different word for it.
Into that horizon. So the farther you're looking, I don't think you can see 180 miles.
No.
You know.
Okay. Here's number one. One of Dave's thoughts. Just told to flat earthers. He doesn't think you can see 180 miles. Now, what does that mean? You don't think you can see 180 miles?
Certainly can't mean you can't see 180 miles, right? Because you can see the moon, and we've been told the moon's much further than 180 miles away. Or maybe it's not. Maybe
maybe that's what he thinks. Maybe he thinks the moon is within that 180 miles. Had it been any further, you wouldn't be able to see it, perhaps.
Not easily. Not when you're looking across the atmosphere. When you're looking up, you're looking through less atmosphere.
Well, there you go. He doubled up there. When you're looking through the air,
then you'd be able to see it.
You know what would be great, actually, Dave? If someone had an infrared camera next time, and they're able to do this with the infrared camera, because that actually goes through a lot of the glare of the atmosphere.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. Gets through a lot of the glare of the air.
Yeah.
That's right. But I mean, you know, when in Rome.
But if there are any clouds, if there are any clouds, you know, when you look up and there's some spotted clouds, you know, it's mostly blue sky, but there's some spaced out clouds.
You know, when you look up and you see clouds, it's like, you know, isn't that where clouds are? I mean, unless you're in a plane, right? Because then you can look down.
Yeah, you can look down clouds. And see them, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
The farther away you look, the more they line up, and they actually become 100% crossing your horizon because you're looking across a cloud. But if there are any clouds,
Actually, Dave, if someone had an infrared camera next time, and they're able to do this with the infrared camera, because that actually goes through a lot of the glare of the atmosphere.
Yeah, but if there are any clouds, if there are any clouds, you know, when you look up and there's some spotted clouds, you know, it's mostly blue sky, but...
Right, here we go. So when you look up and there's some spotted clouds, you know... Mm-hmm.
Everybody got that in their mind?
Mostly blue skies, right? Yeah,
mostly blue skies.
Dave's painting a picture for us. We're looking up.
Mm-hmm. The old spotted clouds?
Yeah, listen.
Any clouds, you know, when you look up and there's some spotted clouds, you know, it's mostly blue sky, but there's some spaced out clouds.
There's some spaced out clouds.
Spaced out clouds.
Yeah.
Yep.
High, that's where they are. Up there. They're high and they're spaced out. Right?
The farther away...
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Here we go.
Spaced out clouds. The farther away you look, the more they line up and they...
Right, so the farther away you look.
So you were looking at the spaced out clouds, mostly blue sky.
Yeah.
But then the farther away you look.
Yeah.
Then what?
Actually become 100% crossing your horizon.
They would be the clouds, the couple of clouds that you saw in the blue sky.
Right? But you look at them from further away, and they all line up. And then
how would one do that?
Well, how can the one above you be the one you're looking at further away?
Because you're looking at it from further away.
You're looking at it from further away, spot on. You just
listen to it again. This is fucking great. Remember, Dave Weiss has gone on to a panel of flat earthers to do this. Right? He's got that first one. Nonsense that nobody ever did. So now he says this.
Any clouds, you know, when you look up and there's some spotted clouds, you know, it's mostly blue sky, but there's some spaced out clouds. The farther away you look, the more they line up and they actually become 100% crossing your horizon because you're looking across, right?
100% crossing your horizon.
Right.
What would that look like? 100%. 100% crossing your horizon, not 10%, not 50%. but 100% crossing your horizon.
Yeah, but if you cross it, that's perpendicular.
Well, because the horizontal, right? And horizon?
Parallel? Yeah, it's because you're looking at the clouds from further away.
It.
When you look up and you see clouds, spaced out clouds, right? When you look at them from further away, they 100% cross the horizon. Because they all line up. That's what I was struggling with.
I was right there with you, spot on. It was saying, is he saying that the clouds are vertical?
It's like, I'm just trying to work out what Dave's saying, but you can't work it out because it's nonsense.
Yeah, clouds are neither horizontal or vertical. They're just clouds.
Right?
And you can't look up and see something and then look at it from further away.
And it be 100% crossing your horizon.
Genius.
Yeah. So I'll go over it again, right?
Everyone's working shit out in their heads, aren't they? They're all like,
you can't work this out. This is totally globe, right? This.
Absolutely.
Any clouds, when you look up and there's some spotted clouds, it's mostly blue sky, but there's some spaced out clouds. The farther away you look, the more they line up, and they actually become 100% crossing your horizon because you're looking across. Right? They all just come, so they'll block the entire view.
Did he say like a dick? Was that Roger? Say like a dick.
What?
I don't know.
I didn't know.
Yeah, listen.
100% crossing your horizon because you're looking across. Right? They all just come, so they'll block the.
Did he?
I don't. Now that you said it, I can't get that out of my mind.
Tell me. Yeah. Sorry for anyone in the chat, right? Tell us what Roger says. Dave Weiss just says that string of nonsense, and he says right, and he's looking for some sort of validation from someone. Roger speaks up. What does Roger say? Listen.
Up, and they actually become 100% crossing your horizon because you're looking across, right? They all just come, so they'll block the entire.
He does, doesn't he?
Luck coming up with anything else. Yeah. Well, it is now.
Like a dick, yeah?
May as well be in the transcript.
Like a dick. Like a deck.
Level Bastard
says, maybe like a deck.
Maybe he's... Yeah, a Level Bastard has a theory. He says maybe he's going on about the rocket. Could be. That could be. Yeah.
I'll try and hear like a deck, right? I'll see. Yeah.
Possible.
Horizon because you're looking across, right? They all just come, so they'll block the entire.
I still hear dick.
I
mean, it makes as much sense as any of the others. Yeah,
absolutely.
Like a dick.
Yep. Fits in with the conversation perfectly.
Roger, if you're out there listening, let us know. Did you say like a dick? I think.
Like view, but they don't ever want to talk about that.
Like a deck doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Like a deck doesn't make any sense. The other thing, and I don't know if you guys talked about it, is his next false binary.
Right, the other thing, right? So he's just gone straight on from whatever happened to the clouds that were in the sky when you look at them from a distance. They're 100% cross your horizon line. And straight into this. Right, exactly. The other thing.
Exactly.
The other thing, and I don't know if you guys talked about it, is his next false binary.
Right, his next false binary, which is a false dichotomy.
A false dichotomy.
I've always said I don't think people should be talking about false dichotomies, so they've decided to call them a false binary, which is exactly the same thing. False dichotomy. Two choices. If you're calling it false. But this is another one. Right? He's talking about a false binary from Will Duffy. Sorry, Dave. I don't mean to do this. It's just, I'd have done this with anybody if I'd have heard this. Anybody coming up with this sort of stuff. It's not that it's Dave Weiss saying it. I quite like Dave. But this is a good example of false binary. Why flat earthers shouldn't talk of a false binary. It does strange things to them.
Before the sun does this, then that. The sun does that, then this. So if the sun moves around.
Exactly.
The other thing, and I don't know if you guys talked about it, is his next false binary. Before if the sun does this, then that. The sun does that, then this.
Right, so he's come up with a new false binary. So before the B4 false binary is this.
For if the sun does this, then that. The sun does that, then this.
So the old false binary was if the sun does this, then that. And the sun does that, then this. So if the sun moves around, right? I mean, he's going on to the flat earth panel, and he's got the top flat earthers there, flat side, and who are the other ones? Don't know.
Exactly.
The other thing, and I don't know if you guys talked about it, is his next false binary. Before if the sun does this, then that. The sun does that, then this. So if the sun moves around, now we have to believe in natural law violations where helium and hydrogen.
Right. So if the sun moves around, now we have to believe in natural law violations where helium and hydrogen. Now, does the sun not move around? They go to one place, the sun moves around in a circle in the sky, and they go to somewhere else, and the sun moves around in a circle in the sky. Is that not the 2 points of rotation where the sun moves around in the sky? The sun circles in the sky. Isn't that what we've been dealing with all this time? Though I know that some flat earthers can't have these 2 points of rotation, right? They only go with one of the points of rotation. But in that one where that 1 point of rotation is, the sun circles in the sky around.
Moves around. Yes.
Around. But why is Dave Weiss doing this? I mean, this is a false binary. Listen.
The other thing, and I don't know if you guys talked about it, is his next false binary. Before if the sun does this, then that. The sun does that, then this. So if the sun moves around, now we have to believe in natural law violations.
So if the sun moves around, we have to now believe in natural law violations. I mean, nobody said that to me. Like, where did that come? The sun does move around, doesn't it?
Yes.
Where helium and hydrogen has gravity and condenses in a space vacuum and holds on to Pluto and ignores our moon and all the other garbage that comes with that. That's TFE. That's already done.
That was TFE. With gravity, condenses in a space vacuum and holds on to Pluto and ignores our moon and all of the garbage that comes with that. That's the final experiment. That's already done. Well, I've never heard about any of those things. To my knowledge, Will Duffy took Jeren and Whitsitt, right, and some other people, to go and see the sun circles in the sky. That's it. That was the final experiment. It's an ongoing social experiment to see how flat earthers deal with these 2 points of rotation on their model. It's still going on. It's going to be going on for quite a while. And it looks like, I don't know what's happened to Dave. It seems like it's that bad for certain flat earthers, these 2 points of rotation, that they can't even comprehend what it is. Seem to be falling to pieces.
Yeah, I was half thinking after we listened to this earlier today that I really started to wonder whether Dave is taking the piss out of these flat earthers.
I would say it sounds to me like he's trolling them. Because he's just got away with talking absolute nonsense to a load of flat earthers, and it's obvious nonsense, right? 3 different points we've got so far. And I don't think we've really got into it yet.
They're gobbling it up.
Nobody's challenging him. And obviously, people to not ask him questions. So, maybe Flatsoid and all of that, they're scared to ask Dave a question because they know what happens when you ask flat earthers questions. So they go into meltdown. They just start shouting and ranting and raving.
I wonder how it is, if you're the position where people are looking to you for the lead to give you a response. What should we do? What should we say next? Dave tends to collate and gather all the bits of information from all over the place and presents it in his clock app, Sun, Moon and Clock app shop, if you like, and you can go there and look through the store and pick out this stuff. But so he's in the position of having to deliver the new stories, and there isn't any real clear ones perhaps coming through. He's having to go around and collect a whole new database of stuff that's going to deal with these things. And is he under pressure because people do look to him for the lead, for the latest news? There must be people who are like that. I mean, that's a strain for Jaron and Whitsitt, I'd imagine, too, to be seen as the people who, put words to ideas and speculation and research and make it sound like a good product, if you like. I wonder if he's under a bit of pressure there to deliver.
Well, isn't it the Oakley model, right? And Nathan Oakley admits that he's never done anything. He's never measured an angle even. Like, everything that Nathan Oakley had is things that people have brought to him. But now, right, maybe Dave's the same, right? Hey, who do you trust? Within your own arena, like, could people be feeding you a load of bullshit? Like, 10th Man handing Nathan Oakley an angle and saying, this is a flat earth proof. Or maybe even QE giving a fallacious modus tollens and saying, this is the Emperor's New Clothes here, Nathan, put them on. You'll look great.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys are showmen, and as you say, Oakley does that. He doesn't have really any... I guess he has some ideas of his own, but it seems to be other people have brought him those ideas. He fashions them into a deliverable sales package and does that. And I think Dave does much the same. I'm not sure how much of Dave's is his own research. He's quite good at spinning the conspiracy thing on anything that's possible. That's his thing, and delivering stuff as if it's factual, based on a whole conglomeration of ideas and videos and things that people have sent him, and he's picked up as the flat Earth product. So I don't know, is he looking for more product or trying to gather people around this thinking ship? I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He might be testing to see which flat earthers are gullible and which ones are going to actually help him out. I mean, he's after a test, isn't he, to give Dr. Shiva, really, Dave. He's got to be travelling. He's got to be, he's got to be a little bit desperate. Sorry to say this, but Flatsoid's been slagging Dave off. So for Dave to just go on there and, sort of pretend they're all sort of pally, and Flatsoid to also accept Dave without much pushback or anything.
Maybe he's got a bit of revenge in mind.
Yeah.
He's thinking, I'll dump this on them and make them look stupid. Damn them all, damn them.
Right, so here we go. That's the old false binary. If the sun does this, then that, and if it does that, then this, which is nonsense, right? And flat earthers shouldn't be doing false dichotomies.
So now they're going to do the creaky blinder. Hey, we want a flat earther to pick the camera. So let's say they have a lens that does not.
Right, so I don't know if anybody's aware of the creaky blinder thing. Dave came on and he seems to have stopped Flatside from playing the video of Will Duffy going over these things. And now Dave didn't want Flatside to continue that video. Now Dave's explaining what the next one of Will Duffy's curvature thing is, and it's basically it's a balloon going up, much like Spasticus, Mr. Sensible did. So it's already been done, the balloon thing, but the camera thing is how Will Duffy is involved in it, and Will Duffy has said he will pay for the lens for the camera to be placed on the balloon, and he wants the flat earthers to choose the lens of the thing. So Dave's now doing, call it damage control or whatever. I'd definitely call this damage control. He stopped Flatside from playing the video of Will Duffy. Now Dave's explaining it, but listen to this.
Not the story. And they get the horizon right in the middle of that lens. So no one's going to scream distortion. They're going to see curvature.
I'll go over that again. Here we go. They want to pick the camera, so they have a lens, right? Yeah, listen.
A flat earther to pick the camera. So let's say they have a lens that does not distort. And they get the horizon right in the middle of that lens. So no one's going to scream distortion. They're going to see curvature.
You heard that?
What's going to create the curvature? Is it some of a lens thing, or?
Right, here we listen to it again.
A flat earther to pick the camera. So let's say they have a lens that.
Let's say they have a lens.
Does not distort.
It does not distort. Let's say they have a lens that does not distort. Yes.
And they get the horizon right in the middle of that.
And they get the horizon right in the middle of a lens that does not distort.
So even the minimum possible distortion in the center, yeah.
Yeah.
That lens. So no one's going to scream distortion. They're going to see curvature.
That's Dave's prediction. They're going to see curvature.
I thought that was always the point of those lenses. Remember they've said, fisheye lens. Yeah, get a rectilinear lens. They don't distort. They're very expensive. And we'll use one of those. No curvature. If there's any curvature, you're going to see it in there. If it's, but of course there isn't any, so that's why we use that lens. So why would, I don't know, maybe he's going to explain where the curvature is coming from.
Okay, here we go.
It is an optical effect based on, like you said, opacity. The thing is, because you have a 360-degree field of view, your radius stays the same as.
This is flat side, right? The thing is, because you have a 360-degree field of view, I don't know who that is. I don't know who he's talking to. I know I don't have a 360-degree field of view, right? Not me personally. So I'm not the you that he's talking to. He might be talking to Dave, right? Flat side again. Let's hear it again.
The thing is, because you have a 360-degree field of view, your radius stays.
Your radius. Because you have a 360-degree field of view. The nonsense of the flat earth, right? Perhaps you're not aware of this, or perhaps you are aware of it when you listen to it, and you think, what, he didn't say that, did he? Like, what? Who can make sense of this, really?
I mean, he has been under a bit of stress recently, and maybe he's kind of, he's had to have eyes in the back of his head or something because people are chasing him down.
And because you have a 360-degree field of view, then you have a radius. Of course. I mean, it comes with the 360-degree field of view, doesn't it? Here's your radius, sir. You've got a 360-degree field of view, haven't you?
Let's see if we can see any joins in the movie.
Yeah, there we go.
The thing is, because you have a 360-degree field of view, your radius stays the same as that. You can test your arm, guys. Stick it in front of you.
You can test it with your arm. Guys, come on. Let's do some flat earth experiments. Like Nelly the elephant, right?
Oh dear.
He's there in the corner.
Can we blow him up? We can't see him very well.
You can turn it like this. If you're turning it to the side, it's the appearance seems that it's closer to you compared to here. So
your appearance of your hand, when you hold it out in front of you, if you move it over there, it appears that it's closer to you. Flat Earth experiments, eh? I mean, what would we do without them?
It must be the Lorentz thing.
Yeah.
He moved it quickly and it got shorter, but we never noticed.
The opacity changes and it makes it look almost curved because the light is being different towards you, what you're observing.
Like...
What, to the end of your arm?
So the opacity changes and it makes it look almost curved because the light is being different toward what you're observing. Right? So Flatsoid talks a load of nonsense and Dave now comes back in again and says, let me fucking finish, Flatsoid, will you? I don't know what you're talking about with your Nelly, your fucking elephant thing, waving your arms around. Let's get back to the good stuff.
Let me just finish my point. You're right there. So when you're looking forward, let's say
you're right there. You're right there with your arm waving around in front of you over there.
When you're looking forward, let's say it's 100 miles or 600 miles, doesn't matter. Whatever distance that horizon, that horizontal eye zone is.
Right, so when you're looking forward, let's say it's 100 miles or 600 miles, but you can only see 180 miles. So let's not say it's 600 miles, Dave, because you've already said earlier that you don't think you can see 180 miles. So why say you can see 600 miles? Doesn't matter, whatever distance that horizon. Here we go. Listen again.
When you're looking forward, let's say it's 100 miles or 600 miles, doesn't matter. Whatever distance that horizon, that horizontal eye zone is, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it's the same distance.
That horizontal eye zone at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it's the same distance. The horizon, that is. The measured distance to the horizon is the same. It's not. You can't measure a distance to the horizon. Maybe QE might have sold you on an argument that you can measure a distance to the horizon. Apparently, in a shit modus tollens that he's never answered for either. But it seems to have had repercussions. Dave now thinks that 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock on the horizon has a distance that you can relate to. You're holding your arm out in some sort of radius that Flatsoid's helped him out with. They all think the same thing. This is the flat earthers, right? If you weren't aware, this is what's coming. The flat earthers. Listen.
When you're looking forward, let's say it's 100 miles or 600 miles, doesn't matter. Whatever distance that horizon, that horizontal eye zone is, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it's the same distance.
Whatever distance it is, it's the same distance. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Presumably right back to 12 o'clock.
That is a circle. You take a 2D image of that, a picture, a video, and you draw a straight geometric line.
Right. Okay. Horizontal eye zone. I'll have to keep going back just to keep you guys on track with what's going on here, because it says it really quickly.
That horizontal eye zone is at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It's the same distance. That is a circle.
So it's a circle, right? Because the radiuses are always the same on a circle. You know what a circle is.
You take a 2D image of that, a picture, a video, and you draw a straight geometric line across it.
Take a 2D picture of that circle. What do you imagine when you take a 2D image of a circle? Anyone?
Well, I just wonder from where you take it, above?
Well, a circle is a 2D figure, right?
Yeah.
Can you think of a circle, a 2D image of a circle being anything other than a circle? Or do you think perhaps Dave's trying to make you think of a 2D image of a circle being something other than a circle in here? You know, just playing with your mind.
But I don't see the circle when he says that. I'm trying to picture what that is and thinking, well, you know, if it's what you view looking out from your position, then you're not seeing the whole circle. So it can't be that.
Yeah.
I could only imagine it's from above, looking down on something.
The circle, the 2D
it's
circle.
Not, the whole thing's not out in front of you.
Right, so here we go. Here we go again. Because it's coming. The killer shot. Kill shot.
You take a 2D image of that, a picture, a video, and you draw a straight geometric line across it. It's going to show curvature.
Why, Dave?
Because the Earth is flat.
He didn't just say that.
Right, so here we go. I'll let you listen to it again, just in case you didn't quite get that, and then we'll break it down.
You take a 2D image of that, a picture, a video, and you draw a straight geometric line across it. It's going to show curvature because the Earth is flat.
There you go. So Dave Weiss has literally just gone in there, right? If you take a 2D image, right, a horizontal eye zone is at 1, 2, 3 o'clock. It's the same distance. That is a circle. You take a 2D image of that picture, circle, or video, and you draw a straight geometric line across it. It's going to show curvature. Because the Earth is flat.
Because the Earth is flat.
A straight geometric line will show curvature because the Earth is flat. Dave Weiss. He's literally just gone on a panel of flat earthers and bent a straight line. Right in front of them.
Yeah.
Magic trick.
What?
If that's not a troll, I don't know what is. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't add up, does it, at all? You know.
Do you think he's made a mistake? Right, chances of Dave Weiss making a mistake in that particular bit, right? I'll put it out again. Let you listen to it again.
Maybe if somebody's given it to him and he's repeating, it's not his, you know, conception, and he's just rattled it out, because he does rattle out a lot of stuff over like his interviews. They have a certain format. He rattles out a lot of information like that very quickly and then moves on to the next thing. And generally, if somebody's talking about something, he'll do a non sequitur and go to something else. Sounds a bit like that, like, you know, you glaze over, you didn't really hear it, it's gone by. But yeah, go on.
Right, here we go. Listen to it again.
That horizontal eye zone is at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It's the same distance. That is a circle. You take a 2D image of that, a picture, a video, and you draw a straight geometric line across it. It's going to show curvature because the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Right? So again,
was that Oh, did you hear Flatsoid? Listen, again. This one wasn't just a it was a
geometric line across it. It's going to show curvature because the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah, says Flatsoid. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. He must have. It's a result of auto levels in the lake, I think.
I mean, where do you go from there? I mean, what's going on? If Dave Weiss can go on a panel of flat earthers and tell them that a straight line will be curved, it's game over, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, to me, it just shows me they're riding on ego. Just going, yeah, because, somebody they must consider a little higher up the rung, up the ladder, has arrived, and it's got to be right, isn't it?
I think he's covering his bases early, right? For, somebody, look, there's curvature. And Dave Weiss is like, well, I did say that straight lines curve.
Yep.
A straight line's always going to look curved, even if you've got the best lens. Even if you draw a straight geometric line. Because that's the part in this.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a circle. If you take a 2D image of that picture, a video, and you drew a straight geometric line across it. Now, what's a straight geometric line?
Well, straight as you can get.
It's going to show curvature
between 2 points. Yeah.
That's a contradiction, right?
Yeah.
I don't get how you draw a straight line, straight geometric line, and it's going to show curvature. I just don't get that.
Yeah, especially when you've emphasised the geometric as well in that. That makes it something else, doesn't it? It's not a vague straight line that you can turn into a wibbly wobbly line or a curved line if you look at it at a different orientation or whatever. Geometric.
Okay, the continuation of it.
Geometric line across it, it's going to show curvature because the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Right? So again, it's just how we see. Put your head in the middle of a hula hoop and tell me there's globe curvature. No.
What?
We should get that. Come on, everybody. We need Dave Weiss needs videos to put your head in the middle of a hula hoop and say, "There's globe curvature," right? That's what Dave Weiss was. Yeah.
Can you imagine Dave in his mankini on the beach? Everybody's got little flat earthers there, all with a hula hoop, and he's demonstrating it.
Is this like a plea? Is this like a similar plea of Simon Dan when he asked people
to
I think take a video? And now Dave wants people to maybe take a video of them putting their head through a hula hoop and then telling Dave, Earth's a globe or globe curvature. What do you say?
Yeah, listen, here we go.
Yeah,
right. It's just how we see. Put your head in the middle of a hula hoop and tell me there's globe curvature.
And tell them there's globe curvature.
Yeah.
Everybody do that. Everybody
put your head in the middle of a hula hoop and tell Dave that there's globe
finding
curvature.
A hula hoop may be difficult.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's specifically where you find globe curvature in putting your head in the middle of a hula hoop, right? I mean, I don't know.
You could be assured, though, if you do find a hula hoop, put your head in the middle of it, say that there's globe curvature, and there you have it.
And tell me. So you have to tell Dave. Dave, there's globe curvature.
Globe curvature, right here as I put my head
in the middle of
the hula hoop. Yeah.
You don't have to be hula hooping, but you could be hula hooping at the same time as you put your head in the middle of a hula hoop. You might get extra credit for him, extra Bitcoin.
And what I like about this, even Dave McKee.
Go on.
I was just going to say, the guys lap it up. They're loving it. And Flatsoid's going to now talk about Dave McKeegan as well. Maybe Dave McKeegan put his head in the middle of a hula hoop. I don't know.
Yeah, they should have. Roger, if you're out there and you go in thingy, take a hula hoop with you, for Dave. Do the head in the middle of a hula hoop experiment.
I'd say the best thing to do is take a hula hoop over to Duffy's church and do it in the parking lot.
Nice. Nice. That was a great
idea. Roger's only 8 miles down the road. He's primed for it.
Yeah.
He'd be up for that.
Oh. Check this out, Duffy. Check this out, Duffy. Look what we're doing.
Let's get a flat Earth meetup over at Duffy's church with everybody with hula hoops. Come on.
Yeah, as they're turning out after the Sunday meeting. He could be out in the car park and going, woo, woo. Well, look.
Yeah, so, I mean, he carries that on, right? So he's just said that. Just curved a straight line in front of the flat earthers.
Egan conceded this, I think it was like 2 years ago on a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave.
So the Globers basically have no argument. Even the Globers know that their own golden boy, Dave McKeegan, has stated, on a flat earth it will also look curved. So,
see, on a flat earth it will also look curved. Maybe he's put his head in the middle of a hula hoop already, right? Maybe he's already seen Earth curvature of a straight line.
When they bring up idiotic arguments like let's take a high altitude balloon, which has already been done, it doesn't show curve because it's not physical. They have.
It doesn't show curve, but Dave has just said even a straight line would show curve. Flat side. Don't say it wouldn't show curve. Dave's just said he would. They're so contradictory, I think. I think that's where the flat earth are going a little bit wrong. They're all contradicting each other. They've got a contradiction in the mind. Maybe they've taken on so many contradictions that they're unable to see what a contradiction actually is. Which would show a lack of, logic. And I mean, you could definitely go along with that. Flat earthers don't seem to be doing much at the minute. The brain seems to have been fried with circles. Because it's the 2 points of rotation that's in the back of the mind. It's never going to go away. How do they deal with it? Well, bending straight lines seems to be one of them.
To prove that curve is physical and not optical, which they can't do.
Yeah, absolutely. The horizon is a horizontal eye zone, a horizon, and we
what? A what? The horizon is a what?
Here we go.
Eye zone, horizon.
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 A horizon.
Yeah, here we go again. Listen.
Yeah, absolutely. The horizon is a horizontal eye zone, a horizon.
A horizontal eye zone.
Horizon.
Eye zone.
A horizontal eye zone. Is that horizontal E-Y-E or I? The letter I.
304 zone.
Somebody help me.
He said eye zone a few times, so he's saying eye zone. Like E-Y-E.
Like ozone, but eye zone.
Eye zone.
I thought you said ozone.
Yeah, it's the 304.
eye zone.
304 zone.
Yeah.
He's got to be taking the piss, right? Out of
the eye of Horus.
Yeah, I mean, he's only been on there for like a few minutes. If that.
Wow, yeah.
And look at what he's done.
Eye zone. Horizon.
This is how quick these flat earthers work nowadays, right? And no flat earthers can see anything. There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. The horizon is a horizontal eye zone, a horizon. And
horizon. That's good. Horizon.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We see in a circle.
We see in a circle. We see in a circle.
See in a circle.
Yeah, we
Would that
see
also
in a
be
circle.
a horizontal circle then?
Yeah, the horizon is a horizontal eye zone. 360. I mean, we do have a 360 degree field of view, don't we? Flatside told us. That's how we can see circles.
Yeah, absolutely. The horizon is a horizontal eye zone, a horizon, and we see in a circle. You're going to see curvature. Period. So
Flatside said, we're not going to see curvature, and Dave comes back, horizon. We see in a circle, you're going to see curvature. Like he's laying the law down. Flatside, have that. We're going to see curvature, mate. What do you reckon Flatside's going to say? Do you reckon he can come back from that?
He's going to challenge him right here. He hasn't challenged him the whole time, but I predict he's going to challenge him right here. Say, Dave, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Right now, he's going to say that.
What do you reckon, Dave? Do you reckon about the horizon?
yeah, absolutely. The horizon is a horizontal eye zone, a horizon, and we see in a circle. You're going to see curvature. Period. So I'm in agreement with Will. You're going to see curvature. It's just not glow curvature. It's visual. Curvature.
It's just not physical.
Yeah.
It's just not physical.
You're going to see curvature. Like, yeah, you agree with Will. Yeah, you're going to see curvature. Straight lines.
It's just not physical.
Yeah, I mean, the straight line that curves, that Dave says is curved, the horizon curve is a circle, and you're going to see it. And Flatside said it's not physical, though. It's like, no, you're looking at it with your eyes, mate. That's where you see curve. You see curvature, right? But, I mean, the actual curvature has to be something for you to see. Right? Now, of course, the horizon is an apparent position. But Dave's physicalized it. He has made it into a circle. Flatside has helped Dave make it into a circle with his Nelly the Elephant waving his arm round in a circle. It's 360-degree field of view. That's a circle. So they've made this circle, and everybody knows what a circle is, right? We all understand what circles are. I trust we do, right? We've been that far enough in the basic understanding of circles.
Well, Tabo's got some high altitude shots like that, 130 feet high, that actually are not distorted, which are straight line shots. So he's got some on his channel that actually show no curvature.
I've been saying this for years. I mean, this is why I've stuck with this 11 frames thing.
After Dave said you will see curvature.
Yeah, Flatside's gone straight to his 11 frames thing. How easily?
Yeah, because when I took the Inferior Mirage out, they claimed, "Oh, I took their curve out." It's like they don't get everything optical doesn't make it physical.
One more thing they're going to bring up that he hasn't mentioned yet, but I'm sure they're going to bring it up. The higher you go, the farther your angle to the flat Earth will let you see. So you can see.
One more thing. Right, of those 4 things that I've just said that have been a right load of nonsense, right? Just one more. What do you reckon this one is? There we go. Listen to this.
It's like they don't get everything optical doesn't make it physical.
One more thing they're going to bring up that he hasn't mentioned yet, but I'm sure they're going to bring it up. The higher you go, the farther your angle to the flat Earth will let you see. So you can.
There you go. The farther you go up, the higher you go, the further you go up, your angle to the flat Earth will let you see. So you can see farther and farther and farther. So the flat Earth angle giver allows you to see farther because of the angle. Listen.
Up that he hasn't mentioned yet, but I'm sure they're going to bring it up. The higher you go, the farther your angle to the flat Earth will let you see. So you can see farther and farther and farther. But there comes a point where you can't see through the. What's that?
Yeah, it gets to a point where it's limited. Everything has a limitation.
Yeah, but it comes to the point where you can't see any farther because the air becomes opaque. That opaqueness becomes what you call sky. So therefore, the apparent horizon is going to be closer, which means it's going to be lower. So as that balloon goes up, they're going to...
Right? I'll try. It does get a bit much, right? And I think we're getting the grift now that Dave Weiss says nonsense that cannot be comprehended. So you're not actually meant to take any of this in. Dave Weiss just says words. Perhaps quite a lot of flat earthers do. There's no chain to follow for the reasoning behind this at all. The horizon is going to be closer. No, here we go. Opaque. Right, here we go.
Opaque. That opaqueness becomes what you call sky.
That opaqueness becomes what you call sky.
So therefore, the apparent horizon is going to be closer.
So therefore, the apparent horizon is going to be closer.
Which means it's going to be lower.
Which means it's going to be lower. Closer means lower, as far as horizons, apparent horizons, apparently.
So as that balloon goes up, they're going to claim that their horizon's dropping.
So therefore, the apparent horizon is going to be closer, which means it's going to be lower. So as the balloon goes up, they're going to claim that the horizon's dropping. The apparent horizon is dropping because you can't see out farther. But the balloon's going up, right, at the same time. So I don't know why they would be saying it's dropping and not that the balloon is rising. Here we go.
The horizon's going to be closer, which means it's going to be lower. So as that balloon goes up, they're going to claim that their horizon's dropping. The apparent horizon is dropping because you can't see out any farther. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
You can't actually see as far as the horizon actually is.
Yeah.
You can't actually see as far as the horizon actually is. From Roger on the panel, Flatzoid's panel.
So you go from can see too far to can't see far enough. You can see something, but you can't see it.
I don't know. Like
see out any farther. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
You can't actually see as far as the horizon actually is.
Yeah.
You can't actually see as far as the horizon actually is. You can't see it, but you can see the horizon.
Glasses.
But you can't see as far as the horizon actually is.
Yeah, he left his glasses at home.
Yeah.
We went to the beach.
I mean, I'm guessing Roger's in there. If they're talking shit, let me have a go as well. I mean...
Well, they must, because they were all pointing at the horizon in the picture at the beginning of this whole thing, if you remember. So how can, if they can't see it, how are they pointing at it?
Like, I don't know what that means, Roger, but I mean, it's a good soundbite, right?
See out any farther. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
You can't actually see as far as the horizon actually is. It's much further out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. You know, like, I mean, no, it doesn't make any sense, but I mean, like, we're all flat earthers together, camaraderie and that. Yeah.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah, like on a foggy day, looking out over the water, the horizon is, 50 yards out because you can't see.
Foggy day horizons. About 50 feet.
You can't see out
He
far.
knew how far it was, though.
Yeah.
He'd measured it, but
about 50
it wasn't
feet.
there.
Yeah.
And it's the same
But I mean,
thing.
how many years have we been trying to get the anti-flat earthers to understand this basic concept?
What basic concept, right? How many years have we been getting people to understand this basic concept, right? Anyone in the last 2 or 3 minutes of thing, I mean, we've gone over it for half an hour. What's the basic concept that they've been trying to get the anti-flat earthers to try and understand over the last few years? Basic concept, right?
You can see further than you can see, and you can't see as far as you can see.
And if you draw straight geometric lines, they'll curve.
They'll curve. Yeah, and don't put your head in a hula hoop.
Or do put your head in a hula hoop.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't.
Well,
they don't.
If you want to keep your sanity.
If it fits.
Yeah. But that's why I said it's rinse and repeat. Because this was the same. All these things are just rinse and repeat from it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Dave said, it's related to the density of the air, like in the foggy day. Exactly. Because the more shady day is, the less you can see. That's a good point.
Pretty obvious, isn't it? Big sigh there too.
No, and one last thing, and then
if it's a foggy day, then the less you can see, and then long pause, and then a big sigh. This is where flat Earth is now. This is it.
Let me just.
I'll hang out for a little bit, but I'll stay quiet. Is my point of view on the TFE, and by the way, I never supported TFE. From the first email that went out to everybody, I replied, I'm like, what is this nonsense? And then the second reply is like, don't ever contact me again, don't ever mention my name. So I'm the first one to call bullshit on it. But you have to remember, TFE was designed specifically for me. They wanted me to go, because they want to take me down and the app down, because it's bringing too many people together.
The app's bringing too many people together. I'd say they got exactly what they wanted with Jeren. I don't think there was anybody else. I don't think Dave would have had the same effect as Jeren. Right? He's called Flat Earth Dave. He's got the Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock app. If there's one person that's not going to flip from Flat Earth, it's the guy that's called Flat Earth Dave. He's sort of stuck with it. Can't really get away from it. It was all about Jeren. If it had been Dave Weiss and Jeren that went, it still would have been Jeren that turned globe, because it was all about Jeren. Jeren had this model. I don't know whether Dave has this similar sort of model like Jeren has. But it's all about Dave.
So when I said no, they couldn't believe it. So they had all their agents contact every influencer in my life. I was speaking at Acapulco in February, and months before, they're calling up all of the leaders at Acapulco, going, hey, Dave Weiss was offered a free trip to Antarctica to prove the Earth is flat. He turned it down. You should convince him to go. You should convince him to go or not let him speak. They were trying that from every angle of my life, and I'm like, absolutely not. So then they had the default. I knew it. The second pick was Jeren, and Jeren goes, well, I'm not going unless Austin goes. He's like, okay. And he goes, well, if it's hazy at all, we're not going to accept the results. Okay, blue sky. If it's not blue sky, you win. Let me ask you a question. Did you know that it was cloudy there? They hadn't seen the sun for 2 or 3 months until the...
Right, here we go. We did go over this, right? These people are religious, let's say. I don't know how religious Dave is, but let's see this scenario that Dave's laying out and, sort of go over it, right? Here we go. Good question in the sky.
If it's not blue sky, you win. Let me ask you a question. Did you know that it was cloudy there? They hadn't seen the sun for 2 or 3 months until the day that they got there?
Yep.
Right, so they hadn't seen the sun for 2 or 3 months until the day they got there.
But that's the thing. We even watched the weather report while they were supposedly live there, and it didn't match up.
Okay, so I've seen the video that they came back with. It's beautiful. Like, you can see Jaren when Jaren talks about this. It was a life-changing moment for Jaren. It looks like amazing. They said the mountains and all of that, you know, it's unbelievable. It must be. I'm never going to be lucky enough to be able to see that. But some people have. Now, blue skies, the sun, you could see it for the whole of the video that they've got. And it's out there, sun circles in the sky. You can quite clearly see it. Now, if they hadn't seen the sun for 2 or 3 months up until the day they arrive there, and then it clears, does that not say that God wanted them to see the sun?
Divine intervention. That's what it says to me.
Yeah, I mean, even if we're going on holiday, the weather looks terrible, and then you go on holiday and it's sunshine the whole week, you go, wow, it's meant to be. You know, that's, you know, somebody was looking out for us, wouldn't you?
Yep.
Just for that. But so for these guys who, you know, have the biblical flat earthers, it's either that, you know, God shone down on them and opened the clouds, pulled the clouds back so that it could be seen, so the truth could be seen, or the devil was involved, I guess. So, not sure which one they would roll into play.
Yeah, I mean, what they did say, somebody has claimed that it was Satan that was the sun, right? But I mean,
Dean Odell said Satan was the sun riding around the sky.
Would God have cleared the clouds, or could Satan clear the clouds as well?
Well,
you know, I mean, I don't know.
Choice, I guess.
But I would at least say, in my understanding of it, that you were meant to see this. I mean, it could have been so easily that they went there and it was cloudy and they didn't even see the sun. But something happened to make you be able to see it.
Yeah, because before they went, you know, I had pictures in my mind of, you know, these guys going and it being freezing. I expected it to be freezing. Deep snow, you know, very cold. They'd be all wrapped up. And I was thinking, how the hell are they going to manipulate these cameras with very fine controls with these big gloves on? That's going to be really tough. How are the cameras going to hold up to the temperature and the batteries and all that? It was just totally, and I was astounded to see how bright it was, and they even had their shirts off, and the reality of that, you know, that just seemed really unreal, you know. So and I thought that at the time, wow, that's incredible. That they're never sure. It seemed going to be a long shot if they actually saw 24-hour sun. It was clear. That's the story I heard. So for it to happen, and then it just stopped, and then they had to leave supposedly, and that was the end of it. And it clouded over again. You know, I thought, wow, that was meant to be, really, surely. Amazing.
I don't know how much more to put on this. To be
it was supposed to be cloudy. Yeah, it was.
We were busy watching, while we were watching Witsedon live, and then we were looking at the weather report, and it was showing it was cloudy. Yeah. There was no clouds in there.
So maybe they were somewhere else in Antarctica, but here's the thing. In my opinion, and it really doesn't matter, and I'm not defending TV, they believed they were where they were told they were. Okay? Whether it was a giant studio, whether it was fake, whether they were hypnotized or whatever.
What?
Hypnotized?
No way. Yeah, whether it was a giant studio, whether they were hypnotized. They might have been hypnotized and in a giant studio. Or the clouds could have just cleared and they actually saw the sun circling in the sky. I mean, seems to be the only one possibility that they aren't accounting for.
Yeah, I mean, he did say it didn't matter. It was only his opinion. But
yeah.
I'll tell it anyway.
Go with anything but actually seeing the sun in the sky circle. I don't know.
I don't think they were lying, because I would have to be lying. I would be in the same situation. And so, you know, I don't know if it was a blessing or curse that I didn't go for them, but, you know, I thought, like, okay,
I think it's completely irrelevant now, Dave. I don't think it's a blessing or a curse. I don't think it matters. I don't think there's anything anyone can do about this now.
I mean, they must have been drugged or hypnotized, or something had happened for them to have gone somewhere that wasn't where we were being told it was, and for them not to be lying, they would have to have totally believed it. So, how do you get people from one situation into another without them knowing? So they're not lying about it. Never entered a studio, never played a game if they weren't lying. He said they weren't lying, so how did that work?
Who knows?
Yeah,
who knows?
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
That they
listen to this.
This is a deception bigger than we're imagining.
It's a deception bigger than you're imagining. Or they could have just actually gone there and done sun circles in the sky. Really. Yeah. But I mean, what you should be thinking of is exactly why. Because this has obviously been known about for years. Right? They've known about it for years. They made a globe. Right? They've given everybody the chance to put all of that understanding into the globe. And now we're here. Doing this. Like, why could they not have just been and seen the sun circles in the sky? Let's face it, right? As far as I know, I can say that the sun circles around me from the left to the right. If I was to follow it, if I was to do a flat side, Nelly the elephant, and follow the sun, I would turn to my right. From the left to the right. Now, people in the south, Australia, New Zealand, flat side, South Africa, I think, as far as I know, he'd turn to the left if they were doing the Nelly the elephant pointing the finger out and turning. That's two different rotations. One right, one left.
Yeah.
Why can't the sun circle left? Why can't the sun circle right? What makes it so impossible to try and picture this image in your head? Like, why is it so hard for people to acknowledge the sun circles in the sky? I don't get it, but again, I tell everyone, I don't actually have a model. So, for me, they're just sun circles in the sky. It's too much for these flat earthers to comprehend, I think.
So, and the thing is, I don't push I personally, I think they faked the sun in the sky. I think the technology's there. I have a whistleblower from Microsoft.
I'm sorry.
There you go. Listen to that. PJ interrupts Dave here at this, and I don't know why he thinks he should just interrupt Dave, but listen to this. I mean,
the thing is, I don't push I personally, I think they faked the sun in the sky.
Personally, this is Dave. He thinks they faked the sun in the sky.
I think the technology's there. I have a whistleblower from Microsoft.
I'm sorry, Dave.
It's got a whistleblower from Microsoft. Right? They've got the technology.
That was about to say something about
hold on.
And PJ had to squash that shit. PJ squashed that, right?
Yeah.
What were you saying, Dave?
No, it's gone. That's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never
but not even a sorry, Dave, what were you saying?
It's like my missus is she's in the kitchen doing something, and she just chuckled, and she came in and she had to say, "Did you just say that they faked the sun?" Yeah, that's what Dave Weiss says, yeah.
Yes, dear. They fake the sun.
Yes, they fake the sun. The technology's there, and there's something about a whistleblower from Microsoft.
Now we don't know anything about. Yeah,
PJ just sort of.
Thanks a lot, PJ.
Sorry, Dave. I'm gonna have to shut you down there. I want to talk about Jaren. Here we go again. Listen.
The thing is, I don't push I personally, I think they fake the sun in the sky. I think the technology's there. I have a whistleblower from Microsoft.
I'm sorry, Dave. I think Jen blatantly lying.
I've got a whistleblower. Don't tell us about the whistleblower, Dave, that fakes the sun in the sky with this new technology. PJ wants to tell you about Jaren's blatantly lying. Constance says Flatside has to face southward to see the sun rise and set. Yeah, but is he turning left? Is he going from right to left with the sun when it rises and when it sets? That's the question. I mean, I don't know. But I see it go from the left to the right. I know it's from east to west, but my east to west is from the left to the right. I don't think there's much else in there, unless you want to go over it and see how urine therapy for the flat earthers. There was a bit of that going on last night. Some other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anyone out there who is in that area or knows for sure what goes on, can somebody tell us, what their experience is in those places, which direction they turn, if they noticed when they went there.
Yeah, if you're looking at the sun and you're where flatside is, I mean, I don't know. In America, I presume you guys turn right, do you? Turn to your right if you were to watch the sun with it in front of you.
If we were to follow the sun as it comes up,
yeah,
yes, we would be turning to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, do we have anybody that's Australia, New Zealand, South Africa to confirm that they turn to the left? Because that would be 2 different rotations. I don't know. I think that's one of the things that's a little bit tricky for people to talk about. It is one of the things that particularly the flat earthers seem to be struggling with conversing about. Now, I know in rooms like 24/7 on politics and all of that, they've got a lot of Australians. Constance says, no, Bev, it's quite simple. What's no? You don't turn in a different direction. Do you not? I don't know. Because if everybody always turns right, when they went to Antarctica, that sun went left. So there's something drastically up if everyone always follows the sun going to the right.
Yeah, if everybody experiences that, going from the sun moves from left to right as you follow it through the day. If everybody does that, then we would have to question this other sun that we've seen going in the other direction. So that's why it's be interesting to hear some people who are actually there to report what they experience.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do we have anyone that can actually say this that's over there? For Constance, you are facing the sun. All we're bothered about is which way you are turning when you follow the sun, when you're facing it. That's all I'm talking about. I don't need to know where east or west or north or south is. I'm only talking about the basic turning. Point at the sun during the day and tell me which way you are turning, either to the right or to the left. Simple. Living where I live, turn to the right.
Yeah. From the moment you see the sun in the morning to the last you see at night, which direction are you turning in?
Yeah.
To follow that transit. I know what direction I'm facing in personally when I see the sun moving.
Well, I don't think you need to know, do you? You don't need to know east or west. You don't need to know where the sun rises or where it sets or which direction you're facing when it goes. Just which way are you turning? That's it.
Well, yeah, kind of, because I guess what I picture when people say, you know, when you look at the stars in the north, they're going that way, turn around, they're going in the other direction. Well, when I'm looking at the sun doing its transit, I'm actually looking south. I'm facing south. That's how I see it. I don't see it if I face north. It's behind me.
Yeah, there's loads of people saying, yes, we know that there's circles of the lights in the sky, and the ones at the top are going from left to right, and the ones at the bottom are going from right to left. That's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about the sun being in the sky, and when the sun is in the sky, if you point at it during the day, which way do you turn? Either
as the sun
or
moves,
anti-clockwise.
the sun moves across the sky, which way would you turn? If you were facing the sun, to paint the picture, right? If you were facing the sun in the morning and you stayed out there for 3-4 hours to see the sun move across the sky, which way would you have to turn your head, turn your body to keep following the sun with your eyes? To the right or to the left?
Yeah.
I would have to turn to my right.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody's all standing in different places, facing different ways. I mean, that may just be something that you guys are doing in order to not take this on, because it is troubling. It's going to be troubling to people, but this is what Will Duffy's handed everyone. The sooner we can get round to understanding what Will Duffy's actually put in the minds of people, maybe it's us. Maybe me talking about this is the seditious part of this, whatever we're talking about now, right? Maybe that's why people are struggling to see exactly what's going on. Maybe it's because I'm saying it.
I don't know.
I don't know anybody. There's nobody in the chat really can say which way they're turning, either clockwise or anti-clockwise.
Yeah. You know, in the films, the videos we've seen of Antarctica, the sun is definitely moving. If you followed it, you'd have to turn. The cameras all followed it too. You'd have to turn anti-clockwise to follow its circuit. And for me, in the morning, it comes up. My house is kind of almost lined up on the cardinal directions. If I look out the morning window, the sun comes up, and by the afternoon, I'm looking out the front window of the house, and I've had to turn in a semicircle to my right.
Yeah, I mean,
to watch it from the morning to the night.
When you're talking about the lights in the sky, the ones like that go around Polaris, right? Because Polaris is in the sky. There's certain stars that go around it, right? So they're going from right to left and from left to right underneath it. But we're not talking about the lights in the sky. We're talking about the sun. I don't actually know, right? maybe somebody in the south will be able to do a star trail. I can do a star trail, and I see it. The stars go around Polaris clockwise, right?
Yeah,
I've already done
don't mistake this for a gotcha or you're dumb. It's not one of those questions. It's just it's a genuine question.
Yeah, there's no lights in the sky because they saw the sun for 4 days. Didn't disappear. It didn't go dark. We don't know what the lights in the sky do and whether they do actually rotate around a point. We haven't got a clue about that. This is just about the sun circles in the sky. Mr. Sparkle says, no, in the south, Bev, they go round Sigma Octantis, not Polaris. Yes, I know.
Regardless.
But in the final experiment, they saw the sun. They didn't see any lights in the sky other than the sun, Mr. Sparkles. And it went anti-clockwise in a big circle around their heads. Seems to be a little bit too much for people to cope with. Right. So, are you in the south, Mr. Sparkles? And does the sun travel from the right to the left? Do you turn anti-clockwise when you're following the sun? Did I say in the south they go round Polaris? I don't think I did. I think I said I know here where I live they go round Polaris. In the south, I said I don't know what they do. Never been there. Never attempted it. And the final experiment didn't actually do anything with Sigma Octantis or anything like that because the sun was in the sky for 4 days. They never got to see any of the dark sky to look at the lights in the sky revolving around a point. We only got to see the sun. I don't know why it's so hard. Maybe it's just the people that we have in the chat that are, unable to comprehend the simplicity of the sun circles. Is there anybody that lives in the south that's watching this, Mr. Sparkles? Do you live in the south, and can you confirm that you turn anti-clockwise for the sun? Is that what happens? I can't imagine why it's been so fucking hard for this to, surely there are flat earthers. Can flat earthers not admit that the sun goes from the right to the left in an anti-clockwise motion?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for quite a while and thinking that somehow that the southern, the beyond the equator people are at a real disadvantage here, particularly the flat earthers, because they've got nothing out there to let them know where they are, how to get anywhere. This all seems to be centered around Polaris, the north, up to the equator, the flat Earth story. And yeah, if the sun goes, as we've seen it in Antarctica, in that direction, why hasn't somebody said anything about that? And had some explanation already about why that was, after 10 years, that it might not be a plausible explanation, but some kind of explanation about that.
Well, that's an interesting topic, too, because we heard today on Nathan Oakley's show that he's too cowardly to even attempt to answer the question about what happens in the south with his Earth is measured flat angle to Polaris. because past the equator you can't see Polaris. So
it's just another one of those claims I've never made. He says, "Don't ask me. I never made a claim. I thought the Earth was flat."
But he can make a claim up to the equator. Apparently, why is that? Why is that exactly?
Yeah, it's kind of
Has he been to the equator, but not past the equator, not south of the equator?
I don't think he's been there. Well, I don't know. Has he been there? Did he say he's been? I can't recall.
I don't know. But it's interesting that, I think maybe there's an aversion to the South for flat earthers. But I mean, you have Flatzoid who lives in the South, lives in South Africa.
Yeah, I mean that's
interesting.
What led me to his question.
Yeah,
his question. Yeah, about what happens beyond the equator. How are the latitudes derived that they still have a center at the North Pole, and they can be continued when you can't see the North Pole. And if there is another point of rotation somewhere out there, then if there are circles that rotate around that point, they have to meet these other latitudes. In my mind, I see two opposing circles, two rotations, two different circles, sets of circles, and it just doesn't make sense. And with Oakley's antipodal planes sandwiched together, it just is. It's I don't know. Maybe it's beyond my thought to be able to paint myself an image that represents what somebody's saying in order to understand the idea, the concept, to go with it and say, okay, I need to learn something a bit more about this aspect because I don't truly understand what's going on. Okay, I'll go and find out about that to better understand it. And, when I've sought answers to those questions, nobody's come back with anything that would say, no, hang on, just look. If you look at this and X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 and try to explain it to me, and then I go, okay, let me think about that. And that hasn't been forthcoming. It just hasn't been done. It's all a bit of a mishmash. Nobody really knows beyond the equator, but we guarantee from the North Pole to the equator, it's as horizontal can be. Everywhere. Even though there's hills and valleys, of course, but never mind. It's horizontal. You can see it. Look. There it is. Can't see it, everybody? Look around you.
Yeah, I've said for years that the Earth's not flat. But level is horizontal, right? There's a but in there, but I don't know why there's a but in there. Should be like level is horizontal and the Earth's not flat. Dead easy. Now, if you don't want to take that as just a reality statement, then you can apply false dichotomy if you want. Give me a globe to take on, right? Because it's not flat, therefore 'tis globe. But I have enough sense to be able to take that on and make sense of the globe. I can do that. I can make sense of it not being flat. I can make sense of level being horizontal. No problem.
Who's Godzilla calling a tard?
I think it's might be Zeptepi. They've been going at each other a little bit in the chat.
Yeah, for years.
And of course we've
Sorry, hang on, just let me.
Go ahead, sorry, go on.
I'm just going to say it seems to be getting a little bit heated in the live chat. I'm not moderating. I'm just kind of watching because I think adults should be able to talk without, calling other people names and that kind of thing.
Well, that's the whole essence of this ridiculous arena, right? Is that the both sides of the false dichotomy will go at each other like this, but at the same time, when we say things like the Earth's not flat because of elevation changes, you'll have the globe tards as some would call them, telling us, well, that's not what any flat earther believe, but they'll go at each other the same. It's amazing to me. It's amazing. All we're talking about is just reality. So apparently what we've seen is sun circles in the sky in the opposite direction, going in the opposite direction as sun circles in the sky in the north, which we do know someone, part of our Discord server, who lives in one of the most northern cities in the world and can confirm that he's seen the sun circle in the sky going clockwise, not anti-clockwise. So what's the big deal? It's just reality. But when you're model afflicted, it has to match your model. When you're part of a religious cult, it has to match your cult, or else
that's what I mean. I can accept, TFE and all of that stuff. I don't have a problem with most of it. Yeah, there might be some fishy things, but it's just reality. That's what happens. And it doesn't even... Why has it got to relate to the shape of anything all the time? Just accept. That's what the sky... That's what's going on in the sky.
Yep.
Great. Move on with your lives, because there's stuff way more important than the shape of the Earth.
Well,
in my opinion.
And you're right. But the reason you ask why does it have to be about that, because that's what the religion's about. That's what the false dichotomy religion is about on either side. And Bev has said this for a while now, and I think he's right, and it's going to get worse, is the people that don't play are going to be the ones that the inquisitors are going to come after. On either side. If you don't belong to, going back to the pastors there, Odell, and who's the other one? Dean Odell,
Locke.
and who's the other? Locke. Yeah.
Greg
if you're
Locke.
not part of one or the other of those churches, you are a heretic. You are. That's it. It's sedition setting in. Heresy.
Well, we know that the just live by faith. And how's faith defined?
Mm-hmm. We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. So I mean, it's like.
Yep, it's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that have invested a lot of time in this, haven't they? They've invested their life in it for 10 years, maybe. So, this at the moment, what's going on maybe in the chat is indicative of the chaos, the confusion that people are feeling about trying to wrap their heads around another model that they've invested in for 10 years. And that now it's been turned on its head, really. And I know Duffy wanted to, rid the world of the flat Earth and the people who are wasting their time thinking about it, spending their time on it. Go and look after you, play with your families, and earn some money, get a good job, and all that. But I don't know whether he accounted for the possibility of the mental issues this is going to bring up for some people.
Yeah.
And we are seeing it. Seeing it around,
Yeah,
strange days are these.
It is, and it's only going to get worse from here, I believe, unfortunately, because people they won't have conversations. This is what Bev has been trying to say for a while now. People just won't have honest conversations. We had a situation here, I won't bring up names, but just some people that do come in, even here on the level, and just aren't on the level. They have to know everything about everything, when anyone who's honest has to honestly say, I don't know everything about everything. And let's just have a discussion. Just have an honest discussion. Well, I don't know about that. That's fine. I don't need to know about that necessarily. Let's have a discussion. What do you think? Well, here's what I think. Well, what do you think? Now, can we talk about what we know? Is that a possible conversation to have? What do you actually know? And then can you tell me what you actually know? Now, I would have to take that on some sort of faith or belief, but at least I can hear you out on what you say that you actually know. But seems like we can't have those conversations. It's just constant BS like we've listened to for the last hour and a half. Just nonsense words, and then other people lapping it up.
In the chat here. Gods, the stalemate was to comment was to Zep Tepe, because he said it would just bring a stalemate.
What would just bring a stalemate?
Level being horizontal on the globe. I don't get. Like
that would be the point, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said the stalemate is reality, right? So what's the deal? But then Godzilla says, you know, something about the stalemate. There's no stalemate, Bev. But I mean, that was to Zeptepi. Godzilla's saying that because of one video. No, God's right. The thing is, people can confirm that the sun does go from the right to the left in the south. I take it. If there's anybody that can do that. Now, if that's the case, I don't need to see videos, like 7 or 8 videos of the sun circling in the sky in an anti-clockwise motion, because I already know that most people in the south already see the sun go from right to left. That's it. Right? It doesn't. I don't need to see loads of videos of the sun circling if I can be confirmed by anyone in this arena that lives in the south, preferably someone like Flatsoid, that can confirm that the sun goes from the right to the left. That would be enough confirmation that they can go to somewhere else and the sun stays in the sky, circling from right to left. Just like it does in the north. It's not a confirmation bias or anything. If somebody is brave enough out there, right, to tell me that the sun circles from right to left, I mean, does it? That's the only question I'm asking at the minute, because I don't know. To me, the sun circles from the left to the right. And I know, because we have Saragaki, who's in this Discord server, and like Kevin says, lives in the most northerly city. He says he sees the sun for 24 hours in certain times of the year. And it circles from left to right, just like I experience. But I live in the north, I live in the UK. So it's what's expected in this area. Is there anybody out there that's willing to say that the sun circles the other way? Or is there anybody out there in the south that can confirm that the sun circles clockwise, right? Is that the way it goes? Constance says left and right are positions relative to direction. Yes. Can anybody out there confirm this? I mean, I'm not really bothered about it. I mean, you guys are the audience. I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy in my understanding that I've witnessed the sun going from right to left and from left to right. It's fine. Seems like we've got a lot of people who are really upset about like something that the sun does. Now, I'm not making the sun do this. I can't manipulate anything from where I am. I'm just pointing it out. Isn't that the social experiment of the final experiment? Isn't that the whole thing? Is there something I'm missing? Gods. Zeptepi. Isn't that the whole idea of this final experiment? To take a flat earther to go and see the sun circles in the sky? I don't know who Godzilla's talking to. You're talking to us.
Yeah, we're saying what we've seen, and I don't know whether any more videos is going to make it any different. If it's either the Globers have screwed up and presented something that isn't true, or it's true.
Flat fact.
What we saw is
that hand that circles in Discord. I am where the finger is pointing. And Bev, you are where the wrist is. No, that's what I'm pointing out. That's what I see the sun do. That's the rotation that I see the sun do. Now, is there somebody that lives anywhere else, like maybe, you know, in the south, what's considered to be the south? I don't know. Like, I don't know what you want to call north or south, but is there somebody who sees the sun circle in the opposite direction to that hand?
Doesn't this seem a bit
nobody
similar to... But doesn't this seem a bit similar as to what's been going on recently? Everybody wants to come in and either ask you your opinion on things. It's like, why... If you guys out there listening, you've got your own opinions and ideas, that's great. Why are you trying to ask Bev for his opinions? Do you not stand on your own opinions? Do you need someone like Bev or, you know, Flatzoid or whoever you watch? Do you need them to give you your opinions or to confirm your opinions? Because that, to me, is just the sign of a weak mind. No offense, you're probably going to lose viewers now, Bev, but this is kind of ridiculous. Have your opinions, have whatever you think, but why are you trying to force them on other people? And two, stand on your own opinions. You don't need to ask Bev his opinion on everything, right? I just find it really strange how it's all Bev, what do you think about this? Point fingers at Bev. How about you point fingers at yourselves? Sit down and just, I don't know, have a conversation with yourself about what you think and whether you're weak-minded or not. You need someone else to follow.
It seems Gord's issue is that he hasn't seen evidence of a continuous 24-hour circuit of the sun by any means. So that seems what he's doubting. He doesn't seem to be too bothered about the direction, but for him, he hasn't seen the sun go for 24 hours, so in any form, in any video so far. So he doesn't believe it until he actually sees it. Whether he believes it when he sees it is another thing, I don't know. But he doesn't seem too bothered about the direction. But
can I just say, Godzilla, I don't have a problem with you in capitals. I'm not quite sure what that means. I have an issue with everybody that comes here expecting Bev to answer questions to set your own mind at ease because of your opinions. I just find it weird. I find the whole social media thing very strange. You should be able to, as a grown adult, have your own opinions and ideas and not need someone else on the internet to back it up for you or disagree. Just live your life. Yes, we have a show. We're not doing it for the reasons that apparently you think we are. We're doing it for the people that come in the Discord. We're trying to, get other people to come in and have conversations. Not to be coming in, like today we had again someone coming in saying, Bev, what do you think Earth's shape is? Why does that even matter? It's ridiculous at this point. And no, Bev doesn't have to close the chat up. You are grown adults. Ban everyone.
Why?
Yeah.
That's what flat earthers do, Gord.
A little bit of an overreaction, I think.
I know.
Yep.
I know. It is. This is what I mean. This is supposedly adults. Sorry, Oliver. Did you want to say something, or are you hot micing, Oliver?
Yeah, I've got a comment from Zeb.
Bev was breaking up for me, so I didn't know whether. But anyway, maybe it's me. Yeah, I was trying to think of the word I was looking for.
You know what? Speak of the devil, Chris Berry's just appeared in our live chat. It's almost like all these people are part of the same ridiculous group that's been going for years that for some reason want to know Bev's opinion on everything.
Yeah, Chris, the Earth's not flat. Don't worry about it.
It's so childish.
Right. Zep Teppy says...
And it does... Yeah. Come on.
go on. I say Zep Tepe says, he's just made a comment. I'll put it in the chat. He says, Bev, if we would do a debate, and you asked me if level was horizontal, and I said yes, would that be the end of the debate? Is that the only point you'd have? Well, if the debate was level is horizontal or not, Zep Tepe, and I was obviously to take the position that level is horizontal, and you would be having the debate with me, and you were to say that level is horizontal, then yes, you would have lost that debate because you'd have just agreed with me. You've got no argument. So we wouldn't have a debate if we both agreed that level was horizontal. That's ridiculous. Zep Tepe doesn't seem to understand what a debate is, and there's a big surprise. People in this arena that don't know what a debate is.
Yeah, there does seem to be a big culture of gotcha in this arena, and where people are going out and trying. That guy Chris Berry came over today, and it wasn't just asking that. It was some trap he was trying to set. And claim that somebody said this or did this, or, oh, we've got you. Now we've got you on tape forever saying this word in the wrong sentence or whatever. And people looking for some gotcha to prove that somebody was a flat earther or a glober. And people are going around with all this paranoia, worrying about what they might say or how they should say it, because they're going to get caught in, to be put on one side or the other, and then they can be vilified by the other ones. And it's just pathetic. Pathetic it is, I think that's what accounts for some of these reactions. That people, they're so invested in one side, they don't want any way to be put on the other side or to be forced onto the other side. They can't just, that Witsit thing, falsification is independent of replacement, If you can falsify it, then find something else to explain it to yourselves. If you can't, then work out what you're going to do with that. That you don't, if you can't do it, then you're going to have to find out what you do with that stuff too. It's up to you. It's everybody's journey.
Chris Berry shitposting in the YouTube everybody, I'm not sure new people will know, but if you're old school in this arena, Chris Berry's been around for years peddling the same old nonsense. Made zero progress, and Chris Berry plays both sides, well, all sides, and never has anything to back up what he claims. He just goes into a YouTube, talks shit, and leaves. And then other people decide to pick up on what Chris Berry says and think that Chris Berry is telling them the whole truth. And this is just indicative of this whole arena. One weird guy called Chris Berry has been around FE for years, bouncing around talking shit. Great, everybody's going to listen to what Chris says. Well, no, actually they're not. We just think you're an idiot, Chris. Show us some progression.
Is he the guy who was playing the game with Oakley a couple of months back or whatever?
I have no idea.
He the one that Oakley had a big rage at, and really bad rage, and talked about maybe his wife or whatever, and then they all have a little laugh and slap each other on the backs and say, "Oh, we love you." Really, it was just a joke. We all know, we know where we are with each other. I don't know if it's the same guy.
Quite possibly, but I wouldn't like to say something that wasn't true, unlike Mr. Chris Berry out there.
Yeah, he's just said I disavow all of my old arguments. So just give us one of them, Chris. Give us one of the arguments that I disavow. Because and I know that I'm the only one who has the argument. So tell me which one of them I disavow.
Well, Chris Berry's saying he doesn't know what shape it is, but he for sure used to be a flat earther.
This reminds me of the old show what you used to do sometimes. Text troll lives matter. This is hilarious.
It is everybody. So right, TFE has really stirred up everybody. It's fascinating to watch to me. I guess also to Kevin as well. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was. Right, because we can't be the only one. Yeah, we can't be the only ones watching this arena and going, wow, this is fascinating. I wonder what would happen if we did this. All right, so they've gone and done this thing, and look what has happened. Look at the response to it. You've got people saying it was all faked.
You've got people not being able to say which way the sun goes in the sky. They're scared to say it.
Well, yeah, we know no one wants to have that conversation, and I think that was part of the, I don't know, I'll be generous and call it a misunderstanding. Gourds wants to talk about whether the 24-hour sun was real or not. It appears to Gourds he has questions, let's say, but that's not what Bev's been talking about. Bev's been talking about the fact of the direction that the sun travels, that there seems to be a difference between the north and the south in the direction that the sun travels when it rises in the east and sets in the west. But no one wants to have that conversation either.
Nobody wants to actually think. They just want to regurgitate a mantra and have some faith.
I don't know. Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know? They just want people. That's what they do. Like, you don't go into that 24/7 arena or Nathan's arena without being able to recite the mantras. You know,
What I mean is I don't know why. Like, why is it that way? Do people? Maybe. I mean, they have to fit into one side or the other. But at the same time, Gourds is saying he thinks for himself. Well, okay, that's good. But I think it's only fair, Bev, since Gourds asked a question earlier and said he wanted to know your opinion on what do you think the reasons are that for the globe lie?
Well, I don't think it's a lie. I think it's a necessity. You need the globe to stop you from going mad. So, take that on.
I'd just like to say as well that I think TFE are going to put out a documentary, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
There's something in the works. So that's probably where all the so-called missing footage is. Because they're not just going to hand it all out, right? Because guess what happened with just one or two videos? Everyone turned around and said it's fake. They're not going to put everything out there and just have you guys straight away dismiss it. They want this to go, for a long time. They're making a documentary. Yeah. That's when more footage will come out. And I just think if you want more footage, go and have a look for yourself. Go and send people that you trust down. Right? Jaren went, Whitsitt went. People trusted those until they went and saw it for themselves. And now they don't trust them. It's ridiculous. You're not going to trust anybody's opinion. So get on a boat, get on a plane, do it yourself. That's the only way you're going to be satisfied.
And Roger Ledwell, he's one of your own. He's got a GoFundMe. He said he wants to go to the Antarctic. Help him along. Get him there. See if he's believable. See what he finds, and if he's believed when he comes back, if it doesn't quite fit the story. Yeah.
So I think Gourds is saying that he's surprised that we're not more skeptical. We're skeptical of what? The 24-hour sun? None of us have been there and seen it. All we're doing is making an observation of what this has done to this false dichotomy arena, Gourds. Can't you see that?
I'm just allowing for the possibility, right? Because I can say for sure for myself, I know where the sun rises and I know where it sets. And I know that if I can point at it during the day and turn, I will be turning clockwise, right? I do know that. Right? Now, I've asked people, so I know that I've asked people. I've asked you guys, everyone in the chat, right? But it appears that there's nobody who lives in the south anymore that's willing to be able to say that whether they turn to the same direction or a different direction. Because I know, right, although the sun where I live doesn't circle my head, I know somebody who lives further north than I do, And he says the sun does circle his head, with him being in the centre of it, right? So I know that while the sun circles clockwise for me, I know that there's somebody who lives somewhere close, right, up north, further north, and they say the sun does circle their head. Now, that's been said, and I trust this person who tells me that. I'm asking, does anybody see anything different? Is there anybody that lives anywhere else? Now, I don't know where they live. But does the sun also circle clockwise for everyone? And is there only one video that's been done? So Godzilla's still waiting for another 7. But is there only one video that shows the sun going in a anti-clockwise motion? Is that it? It's the only one. And it stays in the sky for full 24 hours of the video that we watched. Seems
I haven't watched all the Flatsoid or anything, but I haven't heard him say it either, you know. I don't recall him saying what his experience is. He's in South Africa. And now I'm thinking about that original 24-hour, well, the 24-hour video that we've all seen, well, not all, that's out there that they say is clipped, and it's only 12 hours and then goes round. Now I'm thinking about it, thinking, what direction is that going in that video?
Anti-clockwise, right? It's got a watch on it. It goes anti-clockwise. I mean, is it backwards?
Yeah.
What did he
But that didn't stand out to me, though, you know, thinking about it. You know, that happened then, but it didn't stand out for me to think, hang on, let's go in the other direction. You know, maybe maybe people don't notice.
Yeah, like I say, Jaren didn't flip because the sun circled in the sky. It was because the rotation was different, and he couldn't put that on his flat Earth model. So it's not oddly surprising that flat earthers can't, you know, even look at the different rotation. It does seem to be the problem. Not east, not west, not north, not south. The rotation. That's it. The only thing I'm talking about at the minute. Just so simple. You don't have to believe it, gods. Nobody's saying that you have to believe it. Can you not acknowledge that the sun rotates or goes in 2 different directions? It's uncomprehendable, right? We know that you can't put it on your map. You cannot explain it. That's why there is a necessity for the globe.
Gord's already said that. He says he doesn't care about the direction.
Mm-hmm.
He only cares whether or not the sun stayed in the sky for 24 hours. I mean, fair enough. But that's what Bev is saying. We haven't found a flat earther yet that can have the discussion about the direction that the sun travels, which is irrelevant to the 24-hour sun. But the 24-hour sun video seems to have brought that up. And as Bev said, that's one of the reasons that Jaren said he gave it up, because it couldn't fit his model.
Yeah. It can't be done. It cannot be explained on a flat Earth. And that's exactly why Will Duffy's done this.
So Gord says he's not disputing the directions. So, okay, only disputing the 24-hour sun in the south, as Jaren and Duffy and the team down there, whatever, saw or didn't see. Or video.
Yeah, for Gord, it's impossible. For him, the sun can't do that on his model. It's an impossibility. So he hasn't seen it yet to defy that view. And for him, it's just impossible. It goes in one. It has one. I don't know how it goes in opposite directions.
One direction. It can only go in
I don't know how it. Yeah,
except
I don't know how it changes.
Is willing to accept that there are 2 different directions. He's not bothered about the directions, even though that's the impossible part.
But he's locked into his model, And until he sees something that, definitively proves it for him, and that seems to be that it's he sees proof of a 24-hour sun somewhere else. And then what will he do? What will he do if he does have that? How will he then have to rationalize it, or he refuses to rationalize it until then, or will he accept it's some other model? What happens then?
You can't even rationalize it then. That's the point.
No, that is the point, exactly. So start preparing in case you have to rationalize it, because at some point you may well have to for yourself.
Yeah, you're going to have to do something with it because that information is going to be there. It's not me that's brought this information around. It's Will Duffy. Will Duffy has taken flat earthers on purpose to place this very thing on the table for you guys to peruse.
Yeah, it's nobody's fault here. We're just observing things as anybody else and wondering about them and asking questions about them and other people. What do you think? How would you fit that in your model then? How does it work?
Gord's, I got to be fair to Gord's. Gord's is saying that it wouldn't comport with his biblical cosmology. I don't know why. I've been a Bible scholar for a long time. I don't know why, but if that's what Gord says, it's fine. I mean, it's all good.
The bear sounds like he's fallen down. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Gords, I would say, right, that there is a backlash from this. Will Duffy's probably gone a little bit too far. I would imagine there are people saying, are you sure you know what you're doing? Because I would say, it may seem like this is an attack on flat earthers, but it's not. It's an attack on anyone with a model. This cannot be explained. There's nobody that can explain this. No one. Not in any rational way. So you're going to be left sort of hanging.
Can I give a quote?
Go on.
We're echoing in the YouTube.
Hang on, they're saying we're echoing in the YouTube.
I'm shutting the Discord off in the thing. You guys will have to come through. So perhaps it's picked up in the Discord where it wasn't before. I did have to switch them both on. When any of you guys talk now from Discord and let us know whether they can hear it in.
Yeah, let us know if you guys can hear us in the live chat.
Just talking there. Let me know if you can hear Kevin just talking then. In fact,
yeah, it was dropping out for me here. So
yeah, I just heard me.
You heard you.
Yep.
Better. Jolly good.
Seems to be fixed for the moment.
Right. Yep. Right. Yeah.
We're not looking to rub your nose in it.
Come over and have a chat, because some of these things need to be gone over in the Discord. We do go over these sort of things a lot more in depth on a more personal basis in the Discord. You're probably much better off, to have this conversation on Discord. It doesn't really work over YouTube like this.
I don't know, but I think Gord's might be a little surprised that we haven't gone against Jaren and crew. But I don't know.
We've spoken to Jaren.
He says, I know the purpose of Jaren and crew. You don't seem to. Well, I mean, Bev tried to have a conversation with Jaren, and Jaren listened to a bunch of music over the top of Bev.
Yeah.
We know about Jaren.
Yeah,
we know all about it.
I've got a conversation in my video history that you'll see that we know exactly what happened to Jaren and how long ago it happened. It just so happens that Dave Weiss told Flatsoid the very same thing that Jaren told us. So be prepared. Dave Weiss has already gone the way of Jeren. They just don't know it yet. Most people aren't aware of what's going on in their own minds.
Yeah, Dave did a similar thing, remember, when he came over a while back. And we talked about something and he came up with the hump straight off the bat. So, yeah, some interesting things have been said, been privileged enough to hear some of them. Yeah, it's not as people see, I think. We're just trying to think about how it works within these models that are being presented, and how people are going to cope with that, and what's the conclusion, where are people heading, what's Duffy after. He says he doesn't want any flat earthers around, that's a waste of time. So he's a pastor, is he raising a church, a globe church, where flat earthers are going to be counselled? If they're welcomed, we'll counsel you back into the globe, or you're not allowed to come in. What's the peer pressure going to be on people? What's the pressure going to be on people who are out in the world who measure horizontal, establish a horizontal? What's going to happen to them? Are they going to also be excluded from a religion, or told they're a child abuser, or vilified? It's these things, the implications of some of the things that are going on is some of the things that interest me, and I found people here interest them too. What's happening? Where's this going? What's the end point of this? How's it going to impact on us? How's it going to impact on our children? How's it impact on you, Gord's, too? Is there anything we can do about it? What can we do to the things we can't do anything about? How do we remain sane and healthy in our mind, that we can just look at this stuff and work out what the hell's going on, and not lose it, and not have to grab onto something for safety, some model for safety, because we don't know what else to do, because we're lost. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for anybody, really. It's maybe that's the way it's got to be.
I will say that this whole religion thing, it's really blown out. I mean, Gords, I'm not attacking you. Seriously. I say this with, all generosity. But you say that you have evidence for the Christian God, not faith. Well, what do you do? I mean, we just had this conversation, Buster and I, yesterday in the Discord. Come on into the Discord and talk, because we'd love to hear what you say, what you do with Hebrews 11 then. What do you do with Hebrews 11? So faith is a very important part of the Christian faith. I mean, it's the Christian faith. Faith is part of the phrase Christian faith. So I'm not sure what that means.
The just live by faith.
Yes. I mean, you can't just throw out faith. I wouldn't throw out faith at all. So there's a proper place for that.
Isn't the whole, the whole of Christianity is faith?
Yes. Well, I would say, but I don't know.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe we would be considered heretics, Buster, for saying that. For
saying that Christianity is faith-based?
I guess.
No way. Seriously? That's
Well, aren't you meant to have proof of God, right? Isn't that one of the... I mean, is that contradictory? Is that paradoxical for you to have a proof of God?
Well, I mean, even in the Bible, it says faith without works is dead.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, they're not doing works, and they're saying they don't have faith. So, I'm confused. Seriously, no joke.
And we know Zep Tepe's trying to wind you up, Gords. Don't listen to him. You know what they're like. Right? Zep Tepe is relying on the word of a young earth creationists. Now, as far as I know, and we heard it earlier today, young earth creationists are classed as lower than flat earthers. Yet, they've got young earth creationists with money. that's leading this whole thing.
Yep. Whew.
The top globe guy.
What are you going to do with
is
that?
a young Earth creationist. How do you deal with that, Zep Teppy? Are you ready to join the Church of Globe when Will Duffy sets it up?
Yeah. Zep Teppy will be there. He'll be in the front row.
Yeah. A seditious group is gathering.
Yeah. I mean, aren't they already in a church? The congregation has gathered. The congregation of the chat. It's like, how is this any different than a church setting congregation? I'm utterly confused.
Buster, can you, because Constance has faith differentiated from belief, can you reel off the Hebrews 11:1 again?
Yeah. Right in chapter 10 it says the just shall live by faith. Now it switches to chapter 11 and it defines faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That's how it's defined. Hebrews 11. So I mean, like, you can question it all you want, but you can go back and read it for yourself. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I hate to stir the pot, but that's just what it says. That's it.
God, I think you might, like, nobody's having a go. Like,
no, I'm repeating, I'm verbatim saying what the Bible says. I don't know how that would, like, offend anybody. Like, am I offending somebody by quoting the Bible? I don't know.
No.
They want to talk about what they think I said instead. We're just talking about stuff, Zep. Or you could read what I said above. Okay, which one are we saying? Nope, and I have a faith in God and a knowing. Let's see what else. So please don't yet again build a straw man of what I'm saying. I said I don't require it to prove the Christian God is the creator. Did I say faith is not wanted by God? No, nobody said that anyway. Said I don't need faith after being accused of only being that. I don't know. Where was the original thing? I have evidence for the Christian God, no faith. I came back to him begrudgingly. Wasn't that was what they originally commented on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't get it, gods. They're just going over what we went over yesterday in Hebrews. It was only related to the fact that you brought up the faith, I think.
Yeah. Gord says he was answering Mr. Sparkles or Zep. Well, Gord's, Bev just said you probably don't want to listen to those two. They're just trying to rally you up. But yeah, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it is something once we get into the religious realm of this, which again, I think is brilliant and or devious on the part of Will Duffy, depending on your point of view, I suppose.
But that's been part of the plan, right? If nobody can see that they set this up with Dean Odell and Greg Locke a year and a quarter ago, all right, whatever, when they first had that debate. All of the main players were there in that church. Everybody involved in this at the minute seems to be the religious guys. Now, on the Globe side, it's only Will Duffy, McToon, Peter Malarkey. They're setting up Flurf Wiki. They're very religious. The Globe religious sect are the ones that are leading this entire campaign. And their idea is to rid the Christian church of flat earth. Now, I personally think it's because the flat earthers have been saying that God and Jesus were flat earthers. That's what I think. I think the flat earthers are trying to control the Bible and use the Bible against the globe people who they consider to be science. So that was the original idea, I think.
But do you know why, though?
Well, I think because flat earthers have got no argument, so they had to use something that's faith-based.
Well, they started going down the faith-based route because the other side started going down the faith-based route. And yeah, you have to have either God is a flat earther or God is a globe earther.
Yeah.
And if like us, you say none of that shit matters, right? If you're a Christian and like I'll speak for myself, like to me the Bible has absolutely nothing to do with the shape of the earth. It has everything to do with salvation. That's it, period. So, but, you know, I'll be a heretic, as will whichever other side, right? So if you're a flat earther and you're in the flat earth religion, I'll be a heretic and all the globe, quote, Christians will be a heretic. And if you're in the globe church, then I will be a heretic and all the flat earth Christians will be heretics. This is what it is now. This is where we are now.
Yeah, or we can all just overlook that we are living in a, you know, creation where certain rules apply. You know what I
yes.
mean? You know, you can overlook all the rules that are like inherent in nature, God's grace. You know, like I mean, as Bible would say, you can overlook all that and just like believe, have faith in whatever you want to have faith in. Models, like, I don't know, people saying crazy shit. Maybe I'm the heretic.
Yeah, maybe. Well, for sure, you and I would be, Buster, I think. Glass is the heretic.
I'm definitely sure of that.
Isn't there a quote in the Bible that says that man cannot know this, right? Or is that just something that I've heard? Didn't God say that you can't know this?
Yeah, well, if you think about or if you read it, you know, even Genesis 1, the creation story is don't eat from the tree of knowledge.
Knowledge of good and evil. Yeah, the day
You'll
you
die.
eat it, the day of you eat of it, you surely die. Yeah, and the book of Job is rife with, you know, don't tread on God's territory.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
God will. He tells Job, stand up and answer the questions. Where were you when the foundations of the earth were set?
Exactly. You said what I was just getting ready to say.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's like stay out of God's shit, right? Just
I don't know how well I'm coming through, but I think I know what Bev is talking about. I don't really talk very much on live stream, but there was a section of Bible where it says, "No man knoweth the hour or day that cometh of the Lord." That is a thing.
That is referring to end times prophecy.
Revelation.
That's Revelation type stuff, yeah. But yes, there is that as well. Again, Bev, you remember you and I talked about this when you said, "Well, Kevin, you've been in Buster the same way, right? We kind of grew up in the church, and we said all along, like, this is the worst thing to do is bring this false dichotomy into a religion. It's the worst form. It's the worst thing for people that are supposed to be united around the idea of salvation through Jesus Christ. It's the absolute worst possible thing. We said it when it happened with that denodal and Locke debate, and here we are a year, like you say, Bev, a year and a half later, and look at this shit that's going on. Look at this.
Yeah, they are literally setting up the Church of the Globe. Now, people have been saying it's a religion, but, I mean, isn't it obvious that Flat Earth's a religion? The Globe may as well be a religion as well. They may as well split the church right down the middle. You make your mind up, but you can't just be a non-Earth-shaped Christian now, because the Globe Christians and the Flat Earth Christians will come after you.
That's a fact.
Can I like just make an example of the side of the globe believers, that sort of thing, they have faith too. So biblically, I'm just coming from a biblical stance. If faith is substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen, they always posted this thing about the reciprocal zenith angles, and there was this post that this video always got posted. It was the guy that may or may not be from Maine, the Maine surveyor, and it was like, what did he do? Well, he did it. He did reciprocal zenith angles. Well, how did he do it? So it's like, when you post something without knowing what you're posting, that's something you hope. Substance of things hoped for. You know what I mean? Like, they're posting a video that this guy did it. That's faith that he did it. Can you explain it? No. Were you there? Did you see it? No, I didn't see it either. That's faith. It's a belief that this guy did something, and here, watch it for yourself.
Yeah. The evidence is that it's a necessary. Has to be. So therefore, there has to be some sort of faith that there will be some evidence there for it.
Yeah, but...
You can make whatever arguments up you want for yourself to convince yourself of something. That's the best you're going to have.
They can't even give a good explanation of what was done. They don't even know. They just post a video and go, here, he did it. I believe it. I have faith that this guy did this thing.
I would say that's true. I would say it's equally true of the whole 24-hour sun thing.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, like...
Absolutely, right?
Like, people are... You can either be skeptical that they went and that this was faked and, like, there was, like, shadows or vaping or what all the nonsense.
Yep.
You can question all day long. I was going to say this, like, a few minutes ago, this quote. Intelligence... and I'm not... I think it was Aristotle? Might have been Aristotle. It doesn't really matter, but there's this quote that intelligence is when you can, or an aspect of true intelligence is when you can entertain an idea without or a thought without accepting it. I mean that's epoche in a way. It's a thought or an idea is brought to you, and you can entertain it, you can think about it, and not accept it. That's intelligence, or an aspect of intelligence. I hope I didn't take it off topic with that.
No.
No, it's an F. Scott Fitzgerald thing, isn't it? Is that where it came from?
Oh, I thought it was older than that.
Test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function.
No, that's it.
Or is it?
That's a bit different. Yeah. No, there was an older quote.
That's the contradiction, isn't it? To be able to hold the contradiction, no judgment needed, right?
Yeah. No, it was an older.
Similar.
I could be wrong. Somebody correct me. I thought it was Aristotle, but it was to be able to entertain a thought or an idea without accepting it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've sent it you in a meme or something. I saw.
Right. Yeah.
It is. It's an old one, probably Aristotle. But that other one of being able to hold the two contradictory thoughts.
Aristotle, yeah. It's the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Quote by Aristotle, it is the mark of an educated mind. Well, that's the same thing, almost, to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Aristotle.
And then you can.
That's it. That's the whole thing. Like, you don't have to accept every idea or thought that comes to you. You don't have to, but you can entertain it. It's like, do I have to accept that, there's sun circles. I don't have to accept that. Can I entertain the thought and think about it? Sure, all day long. Might drive me mad, but you can entertain it. You can let it capture your mind.
Someone here said it was falsely attributed to Aristotle. It wasn't him at all, but anyway, whatever. It's a good quote.
Who cares who said it?
Yeah.
It's a good quote, no matter who said it. Lots of things are attributed to people that they may or may not have said, or may or may not have existed. Who knows?
But I think we started today off by going over Dave Weiss talking to the flat earthers. Now, that was literal nonsense. Nobody can remember anything that was said. Nobody be able to remember anything that they went on about, because it's like a magic trick. The mind cannot comprehend it because it doesn't know what was going on. It could put no meaning to it. It could not make any sense out of it. And here we are, right, struggling to even comprehend the two different rotations. And that's for a similar reason. Once the mind holds these two rotations together, it cannot explain it. There's nowhere for it to go. And that's why there's going to be people struggling to talk about it. But it is going to become clearer to most people. It will be made a lot clearer in the understanding. I just fear for the consequences of when that starts to happen, because they've known about this for years. They've even made an education system. That's why I was on about the Kant, right? Because that's at the end of the 18th century, right? Early 19th. That's when it was all coming in. Hot mic, Elder. You got that? Right, so I think when this comes into it, it's going to be more than just the flat earthers. The flat earthers are the test subjects. The rest is going to be brutal. Something that the mind cannot comprehend. How do you deal with that? How do people deal with something that can't be comprehended, can't be understood? There's no place to put it in your mind. Do you think people have been prepared for it? It is 2025. What do people do with that shit? Well, I mean, say whatever you want, gods. But I'd say get prepared. Mentally. Otherwise, who knows what's coming. The social credit scores, they're already on the way. The lists have already been made. I know where they've put me. I don't think I can get off the list that they've put me on.
Likely we'll all be on some list or another. By the way, can I just say that Chris Berry made absolutely no attempt at stating what argument or arguments you've disavowed.
Yeah.
None. He just said you used to say you were a flat earther, which you've never said. As long as I've known you, you've never said you were a flat earther, ever.
I've made some arguments, and I may have refined them made new arguments, but I don't think I've ever had to disavow any argument that I've made, because they're obviously structured as arguments to start off with. I mean, it wouldn't have been much of an argument if I had to disavow it, right? Like, what was the use of making an argument that you would have to disavow?
Well, someone could feel free to rebut the argument if they'd like. They could try to rebut one of your arguments if they'd like to come in and have that conversation. We could put up your arguments, see if anybody wants to rebut them.
Yeah. I think the problem was that people thought that they were arguments about the Earth being flat. But that's their misunderstanding about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting times.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But going back to Dave, my last thought, because I got to get going on Dave, is I really want. I don't know that I'll ever know, but I would really like to know if Dave was trolling Flatzoid in his panel, or if Dave really believed that shit that was coming out of his mouth. I would really like to know.
Curvature of the geometrically straight line.
Putting your head through a hula hoop and saying there's globe curve. Yeah. Like I say, I probably will never know, but I would really want to know. Because part of me wants to believe Dave is just... He calls himself Flat Earth Dave, but he's taking the piss out of these flat earthers. Like, I would believe that if someone told me that that's what he was doing. Either that or it's worse than I thought it was in this arena, which is probably more than likely the truth. All right, and with that, I got to go.
Okay,
I got to run.
Thanks for being.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Catch you later.
Have a good night.
Yeah, take care, Kev.
Thanks.
Yeah, like Elder Bear says, we are the ancients. We're no different than people in the past. They would have been in a similar situation, because what we're talking about here is knowledge, right? For some reason, someone has deemed it fit that a certain group of people know that there are two separate rotations, right? Now, they've already known this for ages. If anybody's ever done star trails and looked at both the north and the south star trails, they will have known, right? There's a difference between the two. People have known about it for a long time. Somebody has decided to highlight this very fact about two different rotations and make it very obvious. There is a film coming out, a documentary or whatever, that is going to highlight the very same fact again within it. And if they don't highlight this fact, then you know there's something strange going on, because they want a certain group of people to know about this. Now, who are the people that are going to be most affected by it? Ask yourself that. Or I would. I'd ask myself that. I have loads of questions for myself. And that's one of the questions. Who are the people that are most affected by it? Well, people like the missus and my son, they only know about it because I told them about it and what was going on. Had I not, they wouldn't have known. Nobody would have known. If Will Duffy hadn't have took Jaren on this trip, nobody in this arena would have known about it. Yet, everybody has already known about it for years. star trails. I mean, if anybody's looked at any of that sort of stuff, a lot of people have. I mean, I know we had. We did it years ago at the beginning when we first came in and we all got our cameras. In fact, I think I said to 10th Man, I said, you guys have all got P1000s or P900s or whatever, right? Have you ever bothered doing a star trail? Have you ever bothered doing a time lapse of that sort of stuff? Because the telescope guys can't do that. They don't have the ability to see as much of the sky because they're zoomed in on a certain part. Like these cameras, the P900s and P1000s, it's ideal. Like nobody else in history has had the ability to do that sort of stuff. And the flat earthers weren't doing it. We did. We did quite a few of them. Well, there was loads of us. We were getting people in Australia, you know, and finding their stuff and watching all of that sort of stuff. So, I mean, it's been known about 2 different rotations. We knew about it. Nathan Oakley said that he knew about it. He's known about it for years. So why all of a sudden is there no talk of it? Why can't people take it on? Yeah, flat fact. Well, just basically, right, there's a bridge, right? I don't know where the bridge is. Is it in logic? Obviously there is a bridge of asses within logic.
Well, I thought it was within the geometry.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, it's known about within geometry, right? But obviously that bridge is there for everything. And it doesn't matter how much you want to teach the trivium and the quadrivium. If you can't pass the bridge, then you're not going to be any good. Like, talk about people today. They can't even not violate the law of identity. And if that's as far as you're going to get, where are you going to get in the trivium? It's not going to work. Modern society isn't set up for any of this sort of stuff. That's why I'm saying, in the end of the 18th century, these people put something into play because they knew the effects of this on the mind. It's a lot more sinister than what you may think. What about if the globe was some sort of a pacifier? What about if it was a thing to stop people from going mad? Think about that, and then think about the consequences of sort of placing that in the minds of people. I'd say you've got to be pretty sure that you've eradicated any understanding of logic, because people with an understanding of logic are going to be the hardest hit, particularly the ones of the ones that have got a slight grasp of logic but not the full understanding of how to spot contradictions. I don't want to get too deep, but the globe is a necessity. It has to be. You can't get rid of it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not flat, and the globe is a necessity. It's just make your peace with your globe. Don't be fighting it. I think I am going to have to do the proof of globe, aren't I, for Dave Weiss? I'm going to have to go for his Bitcoin just to put it out there. I mean, I'm saying that because I think I need to be able to place it in that order to make an argument process to explain it to people. I can't just sort of give it bit by bit because then it'll be more confusing. Yeah, I've seen how people struggle to comprehend the basic understanding of stuff. They want to believe that I was a flat earther. A lot of them have convinced themselves that I was a flat earther. Never been a flat earther. So if you do want to come in and talk, you're best off coming into the Discord. That's where the best conversations happen. These sort of things, like I say, we are going live. We do go live. I've not been live for a bit because I've been, I've really been struggling on how to deal with this, whatever the consequences of the final experiment. I sat back and watched for a bit because, well, I predicted some stuff and I didn't want to influence it. And I was right. Turns out I wasn't really influencing it, and the ball's been put in motion. I don't think there's a way to stop it.
Nah, just shall live by faith.
Sun circles in the sky. Who'd have thought something so simple and geometrically balanced? Like a Vesica Pisces. Vesica Piscis, if you want to. Should we have a bit of music? You want a bit of music? Should have got a jukebox on the go, shouldn't I? Let's have a look. Oh, what? My YouTube thing's making me verify it's me. There you go. Let me have a look. Playlists. Go for a Buster one. Anyone? Come on. Let's have a... What haven't we had for a bit?
The one he played the other day for Emma.
I don't know whether I've got... I think that's the one he didn't actually record.
Uh-huh.
What?
That was it. Who will? Is it? Was it who will? I'm pretty sure. 30. I don't think we've got a who will. Who? Yeah. Yeah. We didn't call it anything else, did we, Buster?
Who will's all I've ever.
Yeah. I think you did it with Buster and Shane, but that's like an hour and 8 minutes. I don't know whether I split it up. Remember, I know what I know. How about that? That's a fucking old one, isn't it? Let me get that. I know what I know.
Double thin clouds of mine. If you walk that road, you'll be left behind, like swaying branches in the air, lost in confusion and filled with despair. Arguments and fallacies taken from the book of lies and deceit. There are those who will never see the gift of Logos that was given to me. And I know how water flows, I know what level shows it. You'll be wasting your time, mine, trying to change what's been defined. I know what I know. I know what I know. You don't know what you don't know. Blackpool paradox. You think it's measuring, but it's not. It's optical phenomenon. All you fools think you know what's beyond. I know how water flows, and I know what level shows it. You'll be wasting your time, mine, trying to change what's been defined. I know how water flows, I know what level shows it. You'll be wasting your time, trying to change what's been defined.
Horizon means the line where the sky meets the earth. Yeah, that's the definition I'm going by.
All horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Let me finish. You can't just spout your logic at me. I'm still talking.
Can't just spout your logic at me. I think we've sort of, like that, when you watch that video, right, I think that was flat Earth, was it? Could anybody think that's, or has somebody made that into a flat Earth thing? I mean,
Well,
I did
I don't
say
know about-
that level was horizontal in the video, right? You know, but to me, that wasn't flat Earth.
It's just reality.
Mm.
The one thing I can think of where somebody was that old clip you have. It was in. I'm sure it was in. I can't remember which song or video you put it in, but it was the PhD Tony saying flat Earth geometry, and it was like, I can remember that being like a penny drop moment for me. Like when you're learning about Euclidean geometry and what it is, and it's so fundamental in everything as far as geometry, mathematics, physics. It's fundamental, and he's calling that thing that's fundamental in what you learn from elementary through university. He said it's flat Earth geometry. It's like, so the not that is what you're using. Anyway, I don't mean to ramble.
Yeah,
on.
I've got this one. I think this is it. Confused triangles, PhD Tony.
3 coplanar points, and bam, there's the radius of the Earth.
The way I phrase it is a monument to the curvature of the Earth. It really is. It really is.
And bam, there's the radius of the Earth.
Please believe me. But I'm a bit confused. So let me get this straight. Yes, that's not a triangle, but it is 3 points.
3 coplanar points.
But that may not be straight in a different frame of reference. Straight according to the surface. What is called straight line distance on the Earth's surface are actually curved arcs. But that may not be straight in a different frame of reference. You're abusing here the term straight.
Yeah, I've got it. It's on my Twitter account. Oh no, here it is. This one. This is the one. Here on YouTube.
You're insisting that your flat Earth geometry will work in every circumstance.
What are you talking about?
So
it's Euclidean geometry, dude. It's not flat Earth geometry.
Flat Earth geometry.
Right, so that this is one of the mistakes I think I made entering this arena. Right, Fight the Flat Earth was the one that called me a child abuser, but I chose to go in a debate against him, right, which I think automatically puts it in the mind of people that I was a flat earther because he was fighting it, but that wasn't what I was doing. I was going to point out to him that it wasn't child abuse to say that level was horizontal. That was the whole point. Elder Bear. Hot mic. Oh. Right, yeah, so I mean, that was a mistake. I think that was one of my mistakes. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't, but it did lead me to talk to PhD Tony. I've never talked to a guy who claimed to be a PhD before. And I was just a normal dude, and yeah, this is the result of it. This guy. Yeah. flat earth geometry, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. That's what set me off on this whole thing. I mean, this series of events. I mean, how long ago is this one? This is 3 years ago, but... Right, so, I mean, finish it off, right? Once you know anything about this, if anybody does know anything about geometry and mathematics and how all of this comes about in Euclidean and non-Euclidean and spherical trigonometry, all of that stuff, well, listen to this. This is PhD Tony.
I called you a flat earther. This is basic. This is
geometry.
Yes, this is basic geometry. Your flat Earth geometry. Flat Earth geometry. This is basic geometry.
It is. Yes, what an angle
and
is.
You're demonstrating you have no idea what basic geometry is.
Each of which is 180 degrees. There are three angles.
Basic geometry is.
Each of which is 180 degrees. What's 3 times 180?
An angle of 180 degrees.
Each of which is 180 degrees. I called you a flat earther. Yes, we have 3 angles of 180 degrees.
That's a straight line, right?
I called you a flat earther. Actually,
I was pointing out your contradiction, Bev. I'm sorry, Tony. Go ahead.
You will recall that I didn't
your angle.
There are 3 angles.
Basic geometry is.
Each of which is 180 degrees.
The easiest way to understand it is that it is a continuous string. A geodesic is a continuous string of infinitely small straight lines. Straight lines. Okay. I'll talk to you guys later.
You can come over to Emma UK anytime.
Yeah, but we can also stream it on our side.
Yeah, you can. Of course you can.
Yeah, anybody listening, if Skeptic's still out there, he wanted a debate about geometry and then disappeared. But I mean, I'm still here, you know. I'd say you can't really debate about geometry, but I mean, if you want to have a go, like PhD Tony. I think people in this arena should learn the basics of geometry, but not just the basics of geometry. Take on the logic, the whole of it, really.
Propositions and definitions and axioms. I mean, it's proof on proof on proof.
And just because some weird PhD guys tells you that Euclidean geometry is flat earth geometry, don't believe him. No. If some weird dude tells you 180 degrees is an angle, like, he's not read the fundamentals of geometry. Unfortunately. But, hey, it's only a PhD in this arena, one of the ones that people use for citations and to give authority to things. And it seems to work well for certain people, not so well for others. It's a science versus geometry. There's like all of that old stuff. But I mean, I think it's those people that gave me the flat earth name, right? Like you heard in that, he called me a flat earther. It didn't really matter to me at the point in time because I wasn't a flat earther. But if people keep calling you it, it doesn't make me a flat earther.
Right.
PhD Tony tries angles is geometry science. Geometry 101 angle. Schooling PhD Tony on triangles. All them days back in the day. to have it all again, right? To be able to have those conversations that we did have again.
Yeah.
Because they're still there. The conversations are still there. I can guarantee that just about anybody would still be able to be fascinated by what you can learn simply that you didn't already know. Stuff that's already right there. I've got some conversation. Did I put anything on, or should we just end it for tonight? What time is it? Anybody want to come in, have a chat? Anybody got anything they want to talk about? Or is it a bit too much already? I suppose.
I would say it's a lot too much.
It's a bit deep. Yeah, it's going to be too much, isn't it? Sun circles. How do you deal with it?
It's still live.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be rounding out. I'm thinking there's there's a lot of stuff that we need to go over anyway. As always, it is the weekend. Emma doesn't like people coming around and debating or whatever, but please do come around for a conversation if you want. Discord's always open. Anybody that wants to come round for whatever reason, come and have a conversation. We're going to be starting a like a logic philosophy thing, but it's going to be open for people to join in the discussion. It's not really going to be led. It's going to be go and watch a video, in your spare time or whatever, and then come back and then we'll talk about it, and it will be the topic over the week or whatever. Most people, if you don't have to watch any of these videos or anything. If you just like listening to people talk about stuff, maybe you might be able to pick something up. I don't know. But the Discord is always open. What do we get? Let me get a tune for us to play out with. Where's the church? Okay, here is Church of the Religion, and we will see you maybe over the weekend sometime.
Welcome to the Church of the Religion you never knew you had. Welcome to the place unknown. Religion seeded when you were grown. Hidden lessons when alone. Truth is here now in this tone. Shadow plays on the wall. You never knew you learned it all. Secrets speak as echoes call. Feel the rise, don't fear the fall. The Church of the Religion you never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked. Rise of faith in shadows cast. They taught you, now you're unmasked. They whispered while you dreamt so deep. Planted truth while thoughts were free. In the dark their secrets keep. Now you're part of this belief. From unknown roots your faith has spread. Follows you wherever it's led. Watch the shadows lie in bed. Find the path that you've been fed. The Church of the Religion you never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked. Rise of faith in shadows cast. They taught you, now you're unmasked. search of the religion you never knew you had. Beneath the questions never asked, rise of faith in shadows cast. They taught you, now you're on